Online game Hokage. The Return of Otsutsuki. Chapter 61. You were polite, Baki. The old monk had a kind eyebrow, but his stature was a little thin. Especially those eye sockets, as if they hadn't slept for a long time, were sunken and black, and the whole person looked very decadent. But even so, his greeting to Baki was very polite. Sir Fenfu, Sunagakur and Konoha are fighting. Time is running out. Let's talk while walking. At this time, Baki was obviously anxious and said directly. For more than a week, the war with Konoha has been in a stalemate, let alone defeating Konoha, they will almost be unable to defend their position in Kikyo Mountain. However, the other front within the territory of the Bear Country cannot allow them to easily abandon Mount Kikyo, they can only hold on to it. In desperation, Baki could only ask the village for help. And 4th Kage Luo Sha, who didn't know what his purpose was to send out the blessing, an old monk with a special identity. If Yi Qing were here, he would definitely find that the old monk called Fenfu in front of him was not an ordinary ninja. But Sunagakur's secret weapon hidden for a long time, one-tail Shuhei Jinchuriki. Master Fenfu, since a week ago, Sand Shinobi and Konoha. Following Baki's account, Fenfu quickly learned about the specific circumstances of their battle with Konoha since the start of the war. Generally speaking, the strengths of Sand Shinobi and Konoha are mostly in balance in the early stage, and no one can do anything about it. However, the addition of players has become the biggest variable in this battle. The big power groups in the real world have countless intelligences, and many of them chose Konoha's families with special blood inheritance boundaries or secret skills in the first time. For example, the Senju family, the Uchiha family, the Hyuga family, or the Nara family, the Akamaiki family, and the Yamanaka family. Although the level of these players is not high, their overall strength is much higher than that of ordinary players. The secret technique is also 5-strand 8-gate, which has greatly restricted Sunagakur's ninjas. On the other hand, Sunagakur, in addition to the magnet-style blood inheritance limit of the Sandfall clan, only the use of poison and puppet techniques are left, which are very restrictive. As these players with special blood succession limits and secret skills joined the battlefield, the scale of victory quickly fell towards Konoha. If we continue to develop in this kind of war stance, Sunagakur will surely be defeated as in the original plot. But Konoha won't win as badly as in the original plot. Because in the world of Hokage Ninja, Konoha has the most players. In the Hokage Ninja world, anyone with a vision will find this world is based on Konohagakure, the land of fire. If it were not for the online game Tiandao to limit the number of people who can choose the camp, I believe that there will be more than 90% of the people in the whole world choose the country of fire Konohagakure. In other words, the current war is very detrimental to my Sunagakur. Is it already on the verge of defeat? Under the leadership of Baki, Fenfu and a group of Sunagakur Anbu soon came to Sunagakur's camp, looking at Konoha's camp in the distance. And between the two camps is the battlefield of the war between the two sides. The original dense forest has disappeared, replaced by bumpy loess and earth. In addition, the boulders on the Kikyo mountain are already full of blood, and there are dead bodies and broken limbs everywhere. However, even so, the ninjas on both sides are still fighting selfless battles in this area, and hundreds or even thousands of players are killed almost every moment. The shouts of the ninjas, the explosion of ninjutsu, and the roar of countless people rang through the world, endlessly. However, what makes Sunagakur's upper-level characters look ugly is that Sunagakur's camp is constantly being eaten away by Konohagakure players and ninjas. If they are given a few more days, the entire Sunagakur will be completely defeated, and the front line of Kikyo Mountain can only be handed over. Yes, Lord Fenfu, Konohagakure has a lot of ordinary ninjas players, at least half more than our Sand Shinobi's ordinary ninjas players. Moreover, Konoha's frontline commander this time is Namikaze Minato. Yellow flashes. Fenfu's eyes flashed and murmured. Namikaze Minato's fame period is really good before and after the Third Ninja War, after several years of fighting on the battlefield. No matter it is the battlefield of Iwagakure Sunagakur or Cloud Shinobi village Kurigakure, Namikaze Minato has appeared. Whenever he appeared on the battlefield, it represented the prosperity of Konoha, and the worst would ensure Konoha's safe retreat. Therefore, Namikaze Minato was dubbed Yellow Flash, during this time, and his prestige was close to Konoha Sannin. Yes, Lord Fenfu. Most of our Anbu's experience has been entangled by Namikaze Minato. It is difficult to rescue the front line. I see, leave it to me. Fenfu said lightly, and saw that he suddenly closed his eyes and moved his lips slightly, as if he was discussing something with someone. But within a few minutes, his eyes opened suddenly, and his pupils turned into khaki yellow, weird pupils like cat pupils. The breath of the whole body has also undergone a weird change at this moment, as if the original human breath disappeared, and replaced by the breath of a fierce beast. One-tail Shuhei. In the original plot, apart from the earliest tail beast that appeared in Nine Tails, it is also the head and tail beast most misunderstood by most people. Perhaps, many people will rank the tail beasts according to the size of their tails. One tail has the least tail and is considered the weakest. However, the strength of the 9 big-tailed beasts is not determined by the size of its own tail. In the original plot, when facing the Gedo statue of Six Paths Madara, One-tail Shuhei is the only tail beast that can stand against it for a period of time and wait for the opportunity to launch a counterattack besides 9 tails Kurama 8 tails Gyuki. From the perspective of Jinchuriki of the 9 big-tailed beasts, 9 tails Kurama and 8 tails Gyuki are the strongest, but among the remaining 7-tailed beasts, Jinchuriki, there are only 3 tails Jinchuriki Yagura and 1 tail Shuhei Jinchuriki Gara. The strength stands firmly at cage level. And like the other big-tailed beasts, Jinchuriki, although not weaker than the shadow, still has a certain distance. So, the strength of one-tail Shuhei, among the 9 big-tailed beasts, although the heat is not the strongest, but it is not the most, probably in the middle. If not, I will not rashly challenge the strongest 9 tails Kurama because I only have 1 tail. Wow! Just as all the players and the native ninjas were fighting forgotten, a deafening roar suddenly came from a distance. Many people quickly looked in the direction where the roar came from. In their eyes, a civet cat-shaped monster with a height of more than 10 meters and a violet pattern all over the body appeared in front of them. Wind-style air training bullets. There was another roar, and a tornado visible to the naked eye suddenly formed in front of it, rushing towards Konoha's players. The wind howled. This tornado is actually composed of countless wind blades. After rushing into the Konoha players' camp, it turned into countless wind blades spinning wildly, tearing the Konoha camp players to pieces. With just such a move, at least thousands of players in the Konoha camp were torn to pieces. What kind of monster is this? It's so big, at least 10 meters high. How can there be such a big cat? It's from Sunagakur. What kind of monster is this? Look, it's coming to us. Countless exclamations sounded from the battlefield. Not only the players in the Konoha camp were shocked, even the players in Sunagakur looked at the huge civet monster beside them with shock. At this moment, deafening world announcements sounded in the ears of all players. World announcement. World announcement. One-tail Morizuru, one of the 9 big-tailed beasts, has descended on the battlefield of the Third Ninja War, Wind and Fire, and the War of the Two Nations. Coordinates. Kikyo Mountain XX, XX, XX. There is a chance to kill one-tail Morizuru's level rewards will be dropped, and the killers will be recorded in the historical events of the Hokage ninja world. World announcement. World announcement. One-tail Shuhei, one of the 9 big-tailed beasts, has descended on the battlefield of the Third Ninja War, Wind and Fire, and 2 Great Wars. World announcement. World announcement. One-tail Shuhei, one of the 9 big-tailed beasts, has descended on the battlefield of the Third Ninja War, Wind and Fire, and 2 Great Wars. The world announcement sounded 3 times in a row, and almost all players in the entire Tiandao online game world heard the world announcement sound. Especially the players who were on the battlefield of Mount Kikyo, looking stupidly at one-tail Shuhei, who was slowly walking towards the battlefield, were all in shock. One-tail Shuhei. This civet cat is actually a tail beast. Sure enough, there is a tail beast, it's so big. The tail beast in this Tiandao online game world is equivalent to the world boss in other worlds. Killing it will drop S level rewards. It's here. What are you waiting for? Kill. Hurry up. Kill one-tail Shuhei, you can drop S level rewards. Everyone, give it to me. Kill one-tail Shuhei. Kill. Don't let it go. One-tail Shuhei is just a boss. Everyone will give it to me. I can definitely kill it. Otsutsuki Yi Ching can kill two-tail beasts. With so many of us, can we not kill even one-tail Shuhei? Kill. Countless shouts and killings came from all directions, and I saw that the entire Kikyo mountain was densely packed with players from the Konoha camp, at least millions of them, and they were constantly increasing. With the emergence of one-tail Shuhei, almost the entire world has paid attention to this war, and countless players are rushing towards Kikyo mountain. Unfortunately, because of the Third Ninja World War, all teleportation formations have been closed. Players can only use a pair of legs and mounts to rush to Kikyo mountain, which is extremely slow. However, even so, there are countless players rushing towards this side. Sandfall funeral. A voice that did not sound like a human voice suddenly sounded on the battlefield. I saw countless yellow sand bursting from the original hard ground of Kikyo mountain, turning it into countless huge hands, and the Konoha player who rushed up with one hand. Catch it tightly. At first glance, one-tail Shuhei is at least a few hundred meters in front of him, surrounded by countless seas of sand. Countless players struggled in this sea of sand, terrified. Die. Puff. Boom. A burst of violent roar suddenly came from the ground, and the sea of sand was suddenly rolled up, enveloping the group of players, and then churned wildly. For a time, countless blood gushed out of that sea of sand, and the sea of sand on the ground was completely stained with blood. The ground was full of broken limbs and blood flowing across the ground, but even so, more players still flocked up in desperation. For them, the least valuable is their lives. Death in the world of Tiandao online games is just a certain amount of mental damage, and it is impossible to log into the game within 3 days. But once you kill one-tail Shuhei, you can get S-level rewards. This is an S-level reward, which can make an ordinary player a shortcut to become the strongest in the entire world. Kill. Chong. Kill the boss. One-tail Shuhei is ours. Everyone gets out of the way. One-tail Shuhei gives us Dragon City. Wu Shuang City is here, get out of here. Kill. Go. 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 Countless voices sounded again. This wave of players are members of large forces, and their level of ninjutsu equipment is much stronger than that of ordinary players before. I saw that these players stepped directly on the broken limbs of the previous players and launched an impact on one-tail Shuhei, with great power. And in the front of this group of people, there was a very fast player. A few flashes rushed to the side of one-tail Shuhei, and his hands plunged into one-tail Shuhei's claws. This person is Senju Luo Tian, who is known as the #1 killer in the real world. Puff. With a soft sound, Senju Luotian's Kuwu Wuwu inserted into one-tail Shuhei's claws without any resistance, and directly inserted his own arm. What? Senju Luo Tian's face changed drastically, because he did not feel the sound of a sharp weapon piercing his fleshy body. Instead, his whole body staggered and almost fell to the ground. Wow! With another roar, one-tail Shuhei's huge body suddenly moved, and his huge claws almost crushed Senju Luotian into meat sauce. The huge claws stepped on the ground, and a lot of smoke rose directly, and even cracks appeared on the ground. With a single step on it, hundreds of players can be trampled to death. At this time, for the tail beast, there is no chance to fight back. Is this the gap between me and Otsutsuki Yi Ching? Looking at the huge one-tail Shuhei, Senju Luo Tian was stunned there, trembling all over. Wind-style infinite sand and dust great breakthrough. Wow! Wind-style infinite sand and dust great breakthrough. With a roar, I saw a roar of one-tail Shuhei standing on the battlefield. The two front passers were raised high, and the only tail covered with violet patterns was waving wildly. More than that, a large amount of chakra surged all over, like a flame burning. Roar. Finally, its huge open mouth took a sharp breath, and spit out fiercely at the Konoha camp player ahead. Boom. Hoo 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 hoo. A gust of wind whistled suddenly from his mouth, and countless wind blades swept in, forming one after another crazy tornadoes, and the wind was at least 15th level. Not only that, a large amount of yellow sand was swept up by the tornado, forming a dust storm that almost covered the sky, frantically flocking to Konoha's player camp. On the other hand, players in the Konoha faction, under the rush of this sandstorm, could not even react at all, and were directly submerged by the endless sea of sand. More players were swept into the sky under the violent wind of this violent wind, and almost all of them fell to the ground to death. From a distance, the entire Kikyo mountain is like a flat earth coiling, and a sandstorm has formed, almost covering the entire Kikyo Mountain battlefield. These players on the battlefield of Kikyo Mountain, before facing this kind of disaster like Tianwei, their power seemed so helpless and humble. Ah! Sandstorm? Mount Kikyo is a big mountain, how can there be a sandstorm? It's so stupid, this is one-tail Morizuru's ninjutsu. This ninjutsu is at least S grade, right? Ma. I'm going to heaven. Maiden, help, I'm buried under the sand. Ooh. Brothers hold on, as long as you can hold Konoha. Ah. Numerous exclamations and shouts came from around the battlefield of Kikyo Mountain, but most of the sounds were just a shout, and they were submerged by the endless wind and sand, and they couldn't spread far. At a glance, the sky was full of crazy rolling Konoha camp players, all of them were swept into the sky by this sandstorm, and then fell heavily into the forest around Kikyo Mountain, falling into a white light. In addition, more players, while in midair, were bombarded with dross by the ubiquitous wind blade and sand iron. After a full 10 minutes, this extremely violent sandstorm came to a halt. However, in this short period of 10 minutes, the Konoha faction players that were originally scattered around the entire Kikyo Mountain have long since collapsed. Millions of players, 1 out of 10, some of them were buried under the yellow sand, suffocating them alive, and more players were swept up into the sky by the gust of wind and fell into a pool of meat sauce. 10-9. Seeing that Konohagakure is about to win, he will take Tsunagakure's position in Kikyo Mountain. But I never thought that Tsunagakure would release the secret weapon One-Tail Shuhei in his own village, instantly changing the battlefield situation. Is this the power of the tail beast? Good strong. Kill so many players in one move. Is Tsunagakure so strong? Impossible, according to the plot, shouldn't the fire country Konohagakure be the strongest? One-Tail Shuhei. Is One-Tail Shuhei the strongest tail beast? It must be so. The reason why Otsutsuki Yi Ching was able to kill 7 tails Chomei and 3 tails is because they are too weak. Yes. We have the largest territory in the Kingdom of Wind, and Tsunagakure should be the strongest shinobu village among the 5 hidden villages. With one tail guarding the crane, Tsunagakure will definitely win this war, ha 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 ha. There was another burst of cheers. The difference was that this time the cheers came from the players of the Tsunagakure camp. As players in the Tsunagakure camp, they cannot attack One-Tail Sho Crane. And they also have a special task, which is to ensure that One-Tail Shuhei will not fall during the war. In that way, they can get a certain reward. Wow! There was another roar, and I saw One-Tail Shuhei's huge body suddenly trembled again, and on all fours, he slowly walked in the direction of Konoha's camp, as if he was patrolling his own territory. On the other hand, Konoha camp, millions of players out of 10, only a handful of players escaped behind the boulder. However, behind these players, the native ninjas of the Konoha faction still possess a certain amount of combat power, and they watched nervously at the One-Tail Shozuru approaching them. It was One-Tail Shuhei. Tsunagakure was willing to let One-Tail Shuhei out. In front of Konoha's camp, Namikaze Minato watched cautiously at the One-Tail Shozuru approaching them. The huge body was covered with violet patterns all over the body, as well as the cold killing intent, causing the native ninjas in the Konoha camp to have a little commotion. One-Tail Shuhei. Minato, are you sure? Suddenly, a gloomy voice sounded, and a man with a tall and handsome figure, but with a lunar look in his eyes, appeared in front of Namikaze Minato and asked. This man looks about 25 or 16 years old, a few years older than Namikaze Minato, and he has great momentum. There are also a few ninjas wearing the same clothes behind him, his expression is very serious. The most important thing is that the logo behind this man is a family emblem with red on top and white on the bottom, similar to a fan. Uchiha. The Uchiha clan, one of Konoha's 3 famous sects, also appeared here. Master Fugaku, One-Tail Sho Crane is a wind-type tail beast, and Tsunagakure also has a lot of reinforcements. We must retreat. Uchiha Fugaku. Namikaze Minato's words directly revealed the identity of this person. Uchiha Fugaku. In the original plot, the deified god of Itachi and the biological father of Urzuzi. At this time, he was already the current patriarch of the Uchiha clan, and his strength was stabilized in the elite Jonin, and he was also the captain of the Konoha guards, and he was very prestigious throughout Konoha. Even the voice of Namikaze Minato at this time is not as good as that of Uchiha Fugaku. After all, Namikaze Minato came from a poor family, although one of Sannin Jiraiya carefully taught it. But compared with the Uchiha clan, one of Konoha's three famous sects, there are still many gaps. Boom. There was a violent roar, and I saw One-Tail Shuhei's huge body had already arrived in front of Konoha's camp, and the closest person could even see One-Tail Shuhei's huge mouth. Huh. One-Tail Shuhei. Since Tsunagakure dared to release it, be prepared to lose it. Everyone, give it to me. Yes. As soon as the voice fell, three figures behind Uchiha Fugaku flashed, rushing towards Yi Ching at a very fast speed. Fire Style Great Fireball Technique. Fire Style Phoenix Fire Technique. Lightning Style False Darkness. Three cold shouts rang out. The three Uchiha ninjas were Lightning Style and Fire Style ninjutsu, and their level was at least C. They could easily summon a large number of flames and thunder and lightning towards One-Tail Shuhei rushed away. People of the Uchiha clan, their inherited chakra attributes are mostly thunder and fire attributes. Lethality and attack power are the strongest two of the 5 chakra attributes. Therefore, this resulted in the ninjas of the Uchiha clan, most of whom were more aggressive and impulsive. Boom. With a burst of noise, these three ninjutsu directly blasted the body of One-Tail Shuhei, splashing a large amount of flame and thunder and lightning, causing Shuhei to roar. At this time, One-Tail Shuhei is not in Jinchuriki mode. He has a huge body and there is no problem of hitting or not hitting. After the three ninjas of the Uchiha clan succeeded in one blow, their figures flashed again, appeared in another direction, and continued to attack. Seeing that the ninjas of the Uchiha clan launched an offensive, other native ninjas of the Konoha camp also showed their figures and slew towards the One-Tail Shozuru. Stop it now. Seeing that almost all Konoha shinobi were killed towards One-Tail Shozuru, Namikaze Minato's face changed slightly, and he quickly said to Uchiha Fugaku. Master Fugaku, Tsunagakure releases One-Tail Morizuru, and there are a lot of ninjas to assist us, we are not rivals, let's get out. Huh. Minato, I think you are scared, but it's just a beast. My Uchiha clan is not afraid at all. Uchiha Fugaku glanced at Namikaze Minato disdainfully, and said lightly. It was shortly after the end of the Second Ninja War, Konoha Sannin, who became famous during the war, disappeared for various reasons. Tsunade is addicted to gambling and alcoholism because of his younger brother Naoki and lover Kato Dan, with the intention of escaping reality. Jiraiya also wandered around the world because of the internal affairs of the village, and was not seen for several years. One of the biggest changes is Orochimaru, because too many deaths have caused Orochimaru's heart to change. And because my lifelong dream is to learn all the ninjutsu in the world, I have a strong interest in the immortal forbidden technique. For this reason, he did not hesitate to use the civilian ninjas in the village to conduct various forbidden technique experiments, resulting in the death of a large number of civilians and ninjas. After the incident was revealed, Konohagakure was singled out and became the most powerful traitor after Konoha built the village. And now, because Namikaze Minato is a disciple of Jiraiya and born in a poor family, he is born with a gap between the famous ninja like Uchiha Fugaku. In other words, Uchiha Fugaku looks down on civilian ninjas like Namikaze Minato at all. Master Fugaku, the tail beast is a war machine in every village. It is difficult to capture with us. And Tsunagakure has so many ninjas, they will never sit and watch us. Namikaze Minato still wanted to stop it, but Uchiha Fugaku didn't give him a chance to go on. He directly led the remaining Konoha shinobi and rushed towards One-Tail Shozuru. Oops. Namikaze Minato didn't care about Uchiha Fugaku's attitude at all, but looked worriedly at the Tsunagakure camp in the distance. They, also a large number of ninjas and players, rushed towards Konoha's camp. Konoha's ninja can't just spend it here, he must find a way to bring these people back. Fire Style Howard Fire Dragon Technique. Boom. Fire Style Great Fireball Technique. Fire Style Phoenix Fire Technique. A violent roar suddenly came, and Uchiha Fugaku's whole body suddenly appeared in the college entrance examination, and his hands continued to seal. Then, a huge fire dragon more than 10 meters long appeared out of thin air, shaking its fiery body, and rushing towards One-Tail Shuhei. At the same time, the other Konoha shinobi also displayed their own ninjutsu, and blasted towards One-Tail Shuhei. Before the fire dragon rushed, there was a sensation of burning heat in the air, and the temperature was obviously very high. After hitting an ordinary ninja, he would not die or be injured. What a big fire dragon! This is grade A ninjutsu. Who is this ninja? The clan emblem is red and white, and it seems to be a ninja from the Uchiha clan, one of Konoha's 3 famous sects. Look, One-Tail Shuhei. Wind-style empty training. Suddenly, a hoarse voice that didn't sound like a human voice sounded on the battlefield. One-Tail Shuhei suddenly opened its huge mouth, and a violent wind visible to the naked eye formed in his mouth. Then, I saw him spit forward suddenly, and a wind bullet that was as high as one person and completely formed by the violent wind blasted out at a very fast speed. Boom! Boom! A series of breaking air sounds, including the fire dragon of Uchiha Fugaku, the ninjutsu performed by these Konoha shinobi practitioners were all blasted away by this wind bullet and turned into smoke in the sky. Boom! There was another explosion from a distance, and I saw this huge wind bomb directly hit the ground not far away, blasting the ground into a huge pothole. The rocks are rolling and the sky is full of smoke and dust. In addition, at least dozens of Konoha's ninjas were hit by this wind bullet and directly exploded into blood and flesh in the sky, very miserable. Uchiha Fugaku cursed secretly, and saw that his eyes suddenly lit up, a scarlet light flashed through his eyes, and his whole body was facing the one tail in the cracks of countless ninjutsu bombardments. The crane flew away. If you can observe Uchiha Fugaku up close, you will find that his eyes have turned scarlet at this time, and the 3 black jade-shaped pupils make him look very evil. Sharingan. And it's the Sharingan of 3 Guyu. Woo! With a soft sound, Uchiha Fugaku's elite figure appeared next to One-Tail Shuhei in an instant, and a sharp kunai appeared in his hand, stabbing it in the eyes of One-Tail Shuhei. For any beast, the eyes will definitely be their weakness. Even the tail beast is no exception. Uchiha Fugaku's speed is so fast that he appeared next to One-Tail Morihike almost instantaneously. Seeing that the kunai in his hand was about to be inserted into One-Tail Morihei's eyes, a violent sound of breaking through the sky suddenly never happened. It came violently from a distance. What? Uchiha Fugaku was shocked, because on his body, a huge black shadow had completely covered his body, and it was blasted down fiercely. Boom! There was a burst of noise, and the huge wings of One-Tail Morizuru slammed into the place where Uchiha Fugaku originally appeared. The surrounding energy rolled, and even a huge crack appeared on the ground, and smoke filled the sky. One-Tail Shuhei's tail is not only tough, but also not short in length, at least 70 or 80 meters long, and can be easily swung anywhere around him. His tail can also be seen as another secret weapon in addition to his own chakra and ninjutsu. Quack, quack, Konohagakure's trash, come and catch your uncle and me. Quack quack quack. Another husky and unpleasant voice sounded, and One-Tail Shuhei opened his mouth and laughed wildly. That tough tail waved constantly, and no one dared to approach within nearly 100 meters. Once they get close, they will be blasted into dross by One-Tail Shuhei's tail, splashing blood. Ohm! A weird buzzing sound suddenly sounded, and now a few hundred meters away from the one tail guarding the crane's foot, 2 figures suddenly appeared from midair. It is Namikaze Minato and Uchiha Fugaku. Uchiha Fugaku was still holding kunai tightly in his hands at this time, his eyes mixed with despair and fierceness. However, what he did not expect was that he was preparing to stab One-Tail Shuhei 1 second from the injury, but he did not expect that he would appear hundreds of meters away from One-Tail Shuhei in the next second. On the open space outside. Minato, you saved me. Among the entire Konohagakure, there are only second Hokage Senju Tobirama and Namikaze Minato, who are good at space ninjutsu. Only Namikaze Minato can rescue him from the attack of One-Tail Shuhei in an instant. Uchiha Fugaku said after the catastrophe that although he did not spare his life, he would not waste his life in vain. Master Fugaku, hurry up and lead people to evacuate, I will drag One-Tail Shozuru. Namikaze Minato didn't pay attention to the look in Uchiha Fugaku's eyes. After a few words, his figure flashed, and he disappeared here again. Do you want to withdraw? Uchiha Fugaku murmured, turning around and looking at the battlefield, only to see Konoha's ninjas were retreating under the joint attack of One-Tail Shozuru and Sunagakure ninjas. Not only that, but a large number of players came from the side and rear in an attempt to cut off the path of Konoha Shinobi's retreat. Sunagakure's goal is obvious, is to wipe out this team of Konoha's ninjas here. Only in this way can they maintain the initiative in this war. Occupy Kikyo Mountain, advance, attack, retreat, and defend. Quack, quack. Go to die. Go to die. In the battlefield, Shozuru laughed frantically, and chakra surging frantically all over his body, forming a flame-like tailed beast suit, rushing frantically among the ninjas of the Konoha camp. At this time, most of the ninjas in the Konoha camp were native ninjas. There were only a small number of players, and no one could withstand the slaughter of One-Tail Shuhei. Not to mention, the Sunagakure ninjas and players in the distance have already approached them, and they want to cut off their back. If nothing else, the Konoha camp ninjas and players in Kikyo Mountain at this time are doomed to fail. Quickly retreat. Quickly retreat. Sunagakure's ninja is here. One-Tail Shuhei is crazy, he can trample hundreds of people to death with one foot. Maiden. Who asked to kill One-Tail Shuhei just now? Is this a boss that can be killed by humans? One-Tail Shuhei can crush so many of our players, how strong is Otsutsuki Yi Ching? Otsutsuki killed 2 beasts alone, we can't even solve one of them now. What the hell? Even the native ninja can't beat the one-tail beast, and they were chased. Retreat. Retreat. The people at Sunagakure are going to make dumplings for us, brothers kill me. Kill. Go. Countless noisy swearings and quarrels came from the Konoha camp players, and the entire Konoha camp players plunged directly into chaos. Some people want to continue besieging One-Tail Shuhei, but more people want to escape here and rush down the mountain frantically. Coupled with the chase of One-Tail Shozuru and a large number of Sunagakure camp ninjas, the whole camp is very chaotic. Almost every minute and every second, hundreds of players from the Konoha camp are killed. Even the native ninjas of the Konoha camp can only protect themselves in this chaotic situation. As for One-Tail Shozuru, all kinds of kunai shurikens or samurai swords and other types of ninja and weapons are inserted all over the body. However, for the huge body of the tail beast, inserting these ninja weapons on the body is like tickling, causing no harm. Suddenly, there was a strange wave of fluctuations, and a handful of weird kunai was inserted on One-Tail Shuhei's neck. Suddenly, there was a wave of fluctuations. In the next second, a young man wearing a light green Konoha shinobi costume suddenly appeared between the necks of One-Tail Shuhei, looking very small. But even so, it was discovered by countless players who only observed One-Tail Shuhei. Who is that? I ran to One-Tail Shuhei's body. That person seems to be Namikaze Minato-sama. Really? Namikaze Minato-sama. What is Master Namikaze Minato going to do, isn't it? Countless exclamations sounded again, but Namikaze Minato, standing far away from One-Tail Shuhei, was not affected by the words of these players at all. I saw him attaching chakra to the soles of his feet and steadily stepping on Shohei's body. Regardless of the violently shaking body, his right hand was made with 5 fingers and the whole body of chakra was surging frantically. Suddenly, a light blue chakra suddenly appeared on the palm of his hand, and it spun at a very fast speed. In just a few seconds, on the palm of Namikaze Minato's right hand, a crazy spinning chakra ball appeared, which contained tremendous energy. At this time, the ninjas of Sunagakure also discovered Namikaze Minato on One-Tail Morizuru, especially the battlefield commander Baki. After seeing Namikaze Minato appearing on One-Tail Shuhei, his face changed a lot, and he rushed towards One-Tail Shuhei. However, he was obviously too late. Rasengan. With a secret drink, I saw Namikaze Minato's right hand shining with crazy chakra, which was already firmly pressed between One-Tail Shuhei's neck. Boom. Wow. There was a violent roar, and I saw Namikaze Minato's Rasengan banging directly on One-Tail Shuhei's neck, and he staggered. Especially where he was hit, a huge wound appeared, which caused Shuhei to let out a violent howl. Where did the little bug come from? Get out of my uncle. With a roar, I saw One-Tail Shuhei's huge right paw suddenly lifted up and patted his neck fiercely. If this is shot, let alone a Namikaze Minato, even if it is a Namikaze Minato, it will be directly shot into meat sauce. However, One-Tail Shuhei is facing Namikaze Minato. This is known as the fastest in the ninja world, and is good at the yellow flash of space ninjutsu. Just when One-Tail Shuhei's huge right paw was about to hit Namikaze Minato's body, Namikaze Minato suddenly flashed a light, disappeared in an instant, and appeared in an open space several hundred meters from Shuhei's foot. It's actually a space ninjutsu type ninja. For thousands of years, One-Tail Shuhei was also a well-informed person. He discovered Namikaze Minato's fighting style in an instant, and there was a hint of irritability in his eyes. Space ninjutsu type ninjas are not the strongest, but they are the most difficult. If you can't beat it, if you want to run, you are not the same type of ninja, almost all of them can't catch up. Ninfa Misha Waterfall Burial. Suddenly, the hoarse voice of One-Tail Shuhei sounded again, and he saw his two huge front paws on the ground, pressing down suddenly. Boom. Rumbling. A violent roar suddenly came, and I saw the ground in front of One-Tail Shuhei suddenly surging, as if it were originally extremely hard rock. At this moment it turned into a sea wave and turned into yellow. Sand rushes towards Namikaze Minato frantically. The so-called sand-killing burial is actually an enhanced version of Sand Fall Funeral plus Sand Fall Burial. It summons countless seas of sand and turns all areas within a radius of tens of kilometers into deserts, which are then crushed into pieces, which is extremely powerful. Facing a difficult opponent like Namikaze Minato, One-Tail Shuhei instantly chose the most suitable formation against him. Attack ninjutsu in a large range. Completely blockade all Namikaze Minato's evasion and transfer space, forming a series of attacks with countless crushing forces. This makes Namikaze Minato, as long as there is no room for this ninjutsu to be transferred instantly, he will have to resist this ninjutsu, and then get injured or even die. In the original plot, after the death of Nagato, Konan displayed the Paper of God technique in order to protect Nagato's corpse. With 600 billion detonating charms, he constructed an explosive ocean that could explode continuously for 15 minutes with the intention of killing Uchiha Obito. At that time, if it weren't for Uchiha Obito's space ninjutsu, which lasted just a few seconds longer than Konan's Paper of God technique, Uchiha Obito would have died. And now, the ninjutsu performed by One-Tail Shozuru to deal with Namikaze Minato is similar to that of Konan's use of the Paper God technique to deal with Uchiha Obito in the original plot. Boom. An extremely violent roar continued to sound, and I saw that with the One-Tail Shuhei as the center, the mountains with a radius of tens of kilometers had all turned into a sea of sand, and it was still surging continuously. With its almost endless chakra, huge claws appear in this sea of sand almost every moment, twisting countless players and ninjas into a pool of flesh and blood. Even Konoha's ninjas and players were attacked, but Sunagakure ninjas and players who were very close to him were also attacked. This makes Sunagakure's commander Baki look very ugly, but he also knows that the tail beast will be in a state of denial of foe after going mad, and hasten to prevent Sunagakure's ninja from retreating back and staying away from the one-tail guard crane. For the tail beast that has fallen into a state of madness, there is no such thing as an ally. At this time, the consciousness that occupied his mind was only the evil desire to tear everything in front of him to shreds. After a full 10 minutes, this area of tens of kilometers in radius slowly returned to calm. However, the scenery here at this time is totally different from before. At first glance, I saw the entire black-green peak of Kikyo Mountain, which had been wrapped in large tracts of yellow sand, and looked like a pyramid from a distance. And in this desert, large patches of red Madara dotted it. The violent wind blew through, whirred, and rolled up countless mad kills. At this time, a strange silence appeared in the chaotic battlefield, which was extremely miserable. Is this the true strength of One-Tail Shuhei? The whole mountain is submerged in sand. Who just said Konoha is the strongest shinobu? We, Sunagakure, are the strongest. That's right. With One-Tail Shozuru, our Sunagakure is enough to crush Konoha. Ha 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 ha. Senju Luotian, the second-ranked one, was spiked by One-Tail Shuhei. I believe that even if Otsutsuki Yi Ching is here, he will definitely be spiked. The pile of sand almost killed me just now. Ha 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 ha, the forums outside are about to explode, especially the big powers of Dragon City and Wushuang City. All players were killed in seconds, and they were unable to log into the game for another 3 days. Ha 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 ha. Numerous roars and discussions suddenly came from Sunagakure's camp. I saw their group of players discussing excitedly, and the discussion focused on one-tail Shuhei and several major players, very excited. In their opinion, the entire Sunagakur has one tail guarding the crane, which is enough to stand proudly in the ninja world. Boom. Just as the players of Sunagakur had begun to break Konohagakure, kill all Iwagakure players, occupy Cloud Shinobi Village, and wipe out Kurigakure players, there was a sudden collapse in the desert not far away. I saw an earth wall 7 or 8 meters high and nearly 100 meters long suddenly collapsed in half, revealing the figure behind. These people are just the last 30 remaining Jonin of Konohagakure. After Morizuru performed this super wide range of ninjutsu attacks, Konoha shinobi were all over the battlefield. Thanks to Namikaze Minato, who used Flying Thunder God technique to gather the rest of the ninjas together, and used Earth-style ninjutsu to build a temporary fortress that leaves Konoha so little seeds. However, Namikaze Minato also suffered a lot of injuries due to the severe wear and tear of chakra and being concentrated by Shozuru ninjutsu. Everyone, get out. Seeing Morizuru staring in this direction again, Uchiha Fugaku's face changed drastically, and he quickly gave orders. Boom. Rumbling. However, at this moment, there was a sudden violent roar in the sky, as if a thunder had appeared out of thin air. In the next second, an extremely violent impact force suddenly fell from the sky, directly hitting the ground in a turbulent and invincible posture. The strength was so great that even together with Shuhei, they were crushed on the ground. Shen Luo Tianzheng. After the violent roar passed, a voice with an icy breath sounded in the battlefield. Who? The exclamation sounded, and I saw that at the edge of the battlefield, Baki looked at the sky with shock and shouted angrily. This is one-tail Shuhei. The war machine that their Sunagakur has hidden for a long time is their Sunagakur's strongest combat power besides Fengying. But I didn't expect that the one-tail Shuhei of Konohagakure was slaughtered indiscriminately 1 second before, and the next second he was slammed to the ground, and even cracks appeared on the ground. Following Baki's voice, a white figure slowly landed on top of one-tail Shuhei. The Sunagakur players who were still on the edge of the battlefield before landing, there were countless shouts, with incomparable panic and fear. It's Otsutsuki Yi Ching. Otsutsuki Yi Ching. Why did he come here? Didn't the world announcement say that he sealed Three Tails Iso? Why did he arrive at Kikyo Mountain so soon? One-tail Shuhei, stand up, kill Otsutsuki Yi Ching. Don't be afraid. We still have so many people, more than 300 Jonin, tens of thousands of Chunin, and one-tail Shuhei, absolutely not afraid of him. Look. Otsutsuki flew towards one-tail Morizuru, what is he going to do? Wait a minute, look. One-tail Sho Crane moved. Countless exclamations sounded, almost everyone on the battlefield focused their eyes on Otsutsuki Yi Ching, watching him nervously. In addition to these players, the Konoha faction ninja on the other side of the battlefield also looked at each other. Namikaze Minato cautiously looked at Yi Ching falling from the sky, his eyes flickered, and he whispered. It was him. How did his strength become so strong? Minato, do you know this person? Uchiha Fugaku, who was a little embarrassed on the side, frowned and said. This person's eyes seem to be Byakugan. When Namikaze Minato heard Uchiha Fugaku's question, he spoke directly and said. Master Fugaku, this person's name is Otsutsuki Yi Ching. A few days ago, I performed the genin assessment task in Konoha. Subsequently, Namikaze Minato told Uchiha Fugaku about Yi Ching's identity in very short words, and directly persuaded. Master Fugaku, let's withdraw quickly. At this time, we are besieged by Sunagakur, and there is another mysterious teenager named Otsutsuki Yi Ching. The situation is not good for us. After hearing Namikaze Minato's words, Uchiha Fugaku's pair of Sharingan stared at Yi Ching who had fallen from the sky, although he was extremely unwilling to retreat like this. However, the appearance of one-tail Shuhei and Otsutsuki Yi Ching has made them Konoha at an absolute disadvantage in this war. Withdraw. Following Uchiha Fugaku's order, the remaining Konohagakure ninjas all fell on the ground and slowly withdrew from the battlefield. One-tail Shuhei. In the mid-air, Yi Ching slowly fell, looking at one-tail Shuhei who was struggling to stand up, and said lightly. As for the chaotic Sunagakur player camp in the distance, and the Konoha shinobi who fled not far away, he didn't care. He previously sealed Three Tails ISO, and originally wanted to find a place to absorb Three Tails ISO, but the system prompts that One-Tail Shuhei actually appeared on the battlefield of Kikyo Mountain. With this news, he quickly found a safe place, sealed Three Tails ISO, and rushed to the battlefield of Kikyo Mountain, ready to capture One-Tail Shuhei. What little bug is it that dared to bother you, Uncle Shuhei? One-Tail Shuhei, who had been suppressed on the ground, struggled to get up and scolded angrily. Among the 9 big-tailed beasts, each has its own temperament. But as the first one to appear on the stage, One-Tail Shuhei has a temperament that resembles a little gangster, and he swears at every turn. As a tail beast, apart from being so embarrassed when he challenged Nine-Tails Kurama, he has never been directly pressed to the ground at other times. Wind-style empty training. Seeing it slap the ground with its 2 claws, its upper body stood up abruptly, and without hesitation, it spouted a huge air training bullet, blasting towards Yi Qing in midair. This empty training round was fired by One-Tail Shuhei with anger, and its volume was at least a circle larger than the previous empty training round. Even in the space between it and Yi Qing, a wind tunnel visible to the naked eye appeared, rushing towards Yi Qing fiercely. Facing this crazy air training bullet, Yi Qing's expression on his face did not change at all. With a wave of his hand, a fierce repulsive force poured out frantically. Boom! There was a sudden explosion in the air, and the air training shells blasted by One-Tail Shuhei and the repulsive force waved by Yi Qing slammed into each other, making a violent roar. However, in the eyes of outsiders, One-Tail Shuhei can kill tens of thousands of players' aerial training bullets. Yi Qing just waved it and exploded it to pieces. How terrifying. Huh. Boy, you still have some strength. One-Tail Shuhei shook his head and looked at Yi Qing in midair. However, when the smoke floating between them dissipated, One-Tail Shuhei's eyes shrank sharply. The memory entwined thousands of years ago slowly came to mind. White clothes and white pupils, firstborn with double horns. Why is this young man in front of him so similar to the old man in memory? The Otsutsuki clan. Recalling this surname, One-Tail Shuhei's bronze-colored, money-like pupils suddenly showed a strong color of fear. The old man once said that his mother was Otsutsuki Kagaya, and Otsutsuki Kagaya swallowed the fruit of the sacred tree just to escape the people of their ethnic group. And, in order to resist the arrival of these people, I did not hesitate to launch infinite Tsukuyomi to make the mortals on earth into white Zetsu. Everything is just to resist the attacks of these mysterious people. Could it be that those who are feared by Otsutsuki Kagaya are the teenagers in front of them? Thinking of this, the fear in One-Tail Shuhei's eyes is even more intense. Wow! With a roar, I saw a large amount of blood-colored chakra gushing out of its body, forming a flame-like shape, burning frantically. What is Shuhei going to do? Hold the big move. What a strong chakra fluctuation. I didn't expect it to have a big move after killing so many Konoha ninjas. As expected to be our Sunagaker tail beast. While Sunagaker's players were all talking about Sho Crane at the time, they saw Sho Crane suddenly turned around under the surging of this chakra, and fell on all fours, madly rushing towards the direction of the Kingdom of Wind. One-Tail Shuhei escaped. What the hell is this? What is Shuhei going to do? Is this big trick to run a certain distance, just like a long jump? It must be so. This is One-Tail Shuhei. His big move will surely destroy the world. HMPH. Konoha and Otsutsuki Yi Qing, you can wait for our Sunagaker's Sho Crane big move, it will be wiped out. Numerous comments came from Sunagaker's player group. Almost all players raised their heads, looking at the rushing One-Tail Shuhei, waiting for its ultimate move. However, more than 10 seconds later, One-Tail Shuhei had already ran a long distance, and Otsutsuki Yi Qing also chased it up, but he did not see his big move coming out. At this time, these Sunagaker players finally panicked. Shuhei seems to have really escaped. Through is here. Look at the indigenous ninjas of Sunagaker, they seem to be chasing Otsutsuki Yi Qing. Yes, this is One-Tail Shuhei, why did you escape like this? Could it be that Shuhei knew how good Otsutsuki Yi Qing was, so he ran away? Running so fast, it's almost flying. This is a fake tail beast, right? Kamui just killed so many ninjas who killed Konoha. How could this be withered? Otsutsuki Yi Qing is catching up. Let's chase it. Go chasing. Don't let Otsutsuki Yi Ching catch our Sunagaker tail beast too. Yes, yes, yes. One-tail Shuhei is our Sunagaker's last whole card, so how can we get caught if we get caught? Hurry up. Countless exclamations sounded again, and millions of Sunagaker players noisily turned their formations and chased them in the direction of one-tail Shuhei's escape. Unfortunately, how much can one person run? The huge body of a Shuhei can jump for hundreds of meters at will, and he can't catch up with his broken leg. As for the Sunagaker ninja headed by Baki and others, as early as when one-tail Shuhei fled, he launched the fastest speed and caught up. As a member of Sunagaker, they must not sit and watch the tail beast of their ninja village and be caught by others. In the dense forest, Sunagaker's ninja figure kept flashing, headed by Baki. He has a heavy face at this time. He is very clear about the strength of one-tail Shuhei. According to the legend that 4th Kazekage Luasha can suppress one-tail Shuhei, it is only a statement to the outside world. In fact, Luasha can really rely on magnet style and gold dust secrets to suppress the Sho Crane, but that is because Luasha is in the desert home and has a large number of Sunagaker ninjas to help. If Luasha and Shuhei played one-on-one, Luasha would not be Shuhei's opponent at all. Chasing. Chase me. One-tail Shuhei must not have an accident. Also, hurry up and send someone to inform Lord 4th Kazekage so that he can send reinforcements to rescue one-tail Shuhei. Baki, who rushed to the front, gave orders while following behind Morizuru, and immediately 2 Sunagaker Anbu ninjas agreed and rushed in the direction of Sunagaker. Wow! The old man is dead, what is the purpose of your family? The sacred tree has been destroyed, we don't know anything. Go away. Chasing Laozi will get angry. Shuhei, who was running wildly, felt the aura of chasing closer and closer behind him. However, Yi Ching didn't have any mood swings in the face of the wildly cursing one-tail Shuhei, and the pursuit speed was faster. Wind-style sand Shigyu. With a roar, I saw a large amount of yellow sand suddenly appeared next to the running Shuhei, which quickly condensed into raindrop-shaped sands the size of an adult's fist, blasting towards Yi Ching at an extremely fast speed. Puff. Boom. Puff. Boom. Puff. Boom. There were bursts of piercing noises, and even the surrounding air was shrouded by the countless sand-time rain, blasting cracks one after another, with great power. Facing the sand-hour rain that almost covered his whole body for several hundred meters, Yi Ching didn't panic anymore. With his hands toward the front, an infinite repulsive force gushed out from his body. Shen Luo Tianzheng. There was a roar, and the countless sand Shiyu had just bombarded Yi Ching's side, and was hit by this repulsive force. Instead he flew back directly. Boom. Boom. Boom boom boom. There was another violent roar, and I saw that countless sand Shiyu, which had already rushed into the air, flew back directly from the air, faster and more powerful. Not only that, but with the power of Yi Ching Shenluo Tianzheng, he slammed into a place several hundred meters around the shape of Shuhei, smashing this area directly into ruins. Wow! Blasted by this huge repulsive force, Shuhei's huge body directly staggered to the ground, sliding hundreds of meters, very embarrassed. You are making this uncle angry. In the panic, Shuhei suddenly heard a roar, and saw that it opened its huge mouth again, and the black and white chakra crazily condensed in its mouth, and the protagonist appeared a black-tailed beast bomb. Tailed beast bomb. It is the tail beast that has the yin and yang attributes of its own chakra mixed and compressed into a super-density ball in the mouth at a ratio of 28, which is released in one breath, generating earth-shattering power. Its power is strong enough to razor a hill or hidden village to the ground in one breath. And Tailed Beast Bomb is also the last killer move of all tailed beasts. Tailed Beast Bomb. With a roar, I saw that when the Tailed Beast Bomb in Shuhei's mouth swelled to a certain extent, he suddenly sprayed in the direction of Yi Ching. Boom 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 b. In the unbelievable gazes of countless people, this tailed beast bomb, which contained an extremely powerful chakra like a small black sun, blasted towards Yi Ching fiercely. Even around the tailed beast bomb's flight, there were waves of vibrations and cracks in the air. What kind of ninjutsu is this? What a powerful force. Tailed Beast Bomb. How come there has never been news of this ninjutsu? Why do I feel that the Tailed Beast Bomb can even blow up the entire Kikyo mountain? Look. What Otsutsuki Yi Ching is going to do. Countless exclamations sounded again. Among the shocked eyes of millions of Sunagakur players on the ground, Otsutsuki Yi Ching floating in the air, when the Tailed Beast Bomb blasted in front of him, he stretched out his right hand. Press it directly on it. Ohm. A wave of weird waves suddenly came, and under the shocked eyes of countless Sunagakur players and ninjas, the Tailed Beast Bomb that was placed by the guard crane and them was caught in the hand by Otsutsuki Yi Ching and slowly absorbed it. What is that? What happened? Why did the Tailed Beast Bomb disappear? Otsutsuki Yi Ching seems to have eyes on the palm of his hand. What do you know? Someone has exploded in the forum long ago. It should be the blood inheritance limit ability of the Otsutsuki clan. The Tailed Beast Bomb was actually absorbed by Otsutsuki Yi Ching. What kind of special ninjutsu is this? Look. Baki-sama and they rushed over. Yes. We still have so many Jonin here, we must not let Otsutsuki Yi Ching run away so easily. Ha 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 ha. This is our tactic. As long as Otsutsuki Yi Ching provokes the ninjas of the 5 ninja villages, he will definitely die. Countless exclamations and discussions came from the Sunagakur player group in the distance, especially some of the leaders of the big forces. Seeing that they didn't need them to be a hindrance, Sunagakur's people pointed their guns at Otsutsuki Yi Ching. Excited and hurriedly called friends, ready to attack Yi Ching in the real world. In addition to these players, the Sunagakur ninjas who followed One-Tail Shuhei's ass are also worthy of catching up with them. These ninjas flew with the help of the roots of the towering giant trees. The speed was extremely fast, enough to reach 70 to 80 kilometers in 1 hour, and each one was a humanoid monster. And at the forefront of this group of ninjas, it happens to be Baki, the battlefield commander of this war. Wind-style vacuum continuous waves. Wind-style airborne cannon. Wind-style vacuum sphere. Hundreds of cold shouts rang out, and I saw that these Sunagakur ninjas performed wind-style ninjutsu after approaching One-Tail Morihei and Yi Ching. For a while, hundreds of high-pressure wind balls, big wind blades and other gusts suddenly gushed out of the entire forest, slashing towards Yi Ching in midair. Wind-style ninjutsu's tearing ability is extremely strong, and their speed is only weaker than lightning-style ninjutsu. In the hands of these Sunagakur ninjas who are good at wind-style ninjutsu, they can produce more powerful power. Boom hoo hoo. The hurricane struck, as if countless wind blades and high-pressure wind clusters gushed out of the entire ground, covering Yi Ching's whole body within a range of more than 100 meters, and there was nowhere to escape. Huh. Sunagakur's ninja, trouble. In the mid-air, Yi Ching frowned slightly as he looked at the countless wind blades pouring out of him. He has just absorbed the Tailed Beast Bomb of One-Tail Shuhei, and he is transforming at this time, and the ability absorbed by ninjutsu cannot be used for a short time. Only after the ninjutsu in the body is increased and launched with the help of the left hands, High Emperor's spiritual sovereign, can the right hand's ability to absorb ninjutsu be restored. At this time, these Sunagakur ninjas happened to perform such a large group of wind-style ninjutsu by accidentally hitting and colliding with the ability of Rinnegan on their right hand to fail. In the face of such a large group of wind-style ninjutsu, Yi Ching had nowhere to hide, but he was not panicked either. While Rinnegan on the palm of his left hand was transforming the Tailed Beast Bomb, he made a knot with one hand on his right hand and gently pointed towards the ground. Water-style Great Waterfall Technique. Rumbling. Following Yi Ching's actions, a violent roar suddenly sounded from the sky. I saw an almost endless stream of water appeared out of thin air in the originally clear and cloudless sky, frantically surging downwards, surging. From a distance, it seemed that a huge waterfall appeared out of thin air in this heaven, pouring down toward the ground. The ordinary waterfall technique can at most set off a huge waterfall-like flow in the place where there is water, but Yi Ching now has chakra owned by 7 tails Chomei in his body. Compared with the real tail beast, the chakra is only a lot more. Supported by the infinite chakra, this Dao was originally an A-level water-style ninjutsu. After Yi Ching's hand, its water volume and coverage area expanded at least dozens of times. The impact of the infinite current, those wind-style ninjutsu that had rushed towards him, were all forced down by this surging current. At most, it just stirred up waves of water. Rumbling. Rumble rumbling. The deafening roar continued to come. It was like the water of the heavens and the galaxy pouring down from the sky, directly submerging the earth, almost covering the main forest. As for the Sunagakur ninjas and players who attacked him, they were all washed away by the flood, and they didn't even make a bubble. After a few minutes, the flood that fell from the sky finally subsided, and the whole land was once again calm. Only left, one-tail Shuhei with a look of despair. Looking at the embarrassed earth, Yi Ching smiled faintly, and grabbed his left hand upwards. A jet-black chakra suddenly emerged from his left hand, slowly forming a huge-tailed beast bomb. This tailed beast bomb is exactly the huge-tailed beast bomb formed by his left-handed Rinnegan's ability, High Emperor Yield. The Otsutsuki family, even if this uncle is dead. Before one-tail Shuhei's last curse was finished, I saw that the sun's rays in the sky seemed to be blocked, and a tailed beast bomb, which was bigger than its body, slowly fell down. Rumble. The land of wind, Sunagakur. Baki staggered at the entrance of the village alone, and was quickly discovered by the Sunagakur ninja hiding in the dark, and hurriedly helped him back. As for the other ninjas who followed him to Mount Kikyo, life or death is unknown. I want to see Master Luasha soon, help me go. These Anbu ninjas did not dare to delay for a moment, and quickly helped Baki to the Fengyiang office to invite 4th Kage Rosha. A few minutes later, Luo Sha appeared in front of Baki, her face gloomy and very ugly. Even Baki, whom he regarded as his confidant, fled back in such embarrassment, then the battle on the front line can be imagined. However, Luo Sha did not know at this time, and the other news that Baki brought back was even more shocking. Master Luasha, your subordinates. Master Fenfu, was taken away. What? Shuhei Jinchuriki. Luo Sha's face changed drastically, and she grabbed Baki in a hand, her eyes almost bursting into flames, and she asked angrily. Who did it? Konoha. No. Baki was crying, but facing the furious Luo Sha, he didn't dare to refute, and said quickly. It's a boy named Otsutsuki Yi Ching. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Otsutsuki Yi Ching. Luo Sha muttered the name, frowned slightly, and recalled the name and surname strong man in the ninja world in her mind at this time, before she spoke. Otsutsuki Yi Ching. I don't seem to have heard of this name. Which village is it from? Master Luasha, we have never heard of this person's name, but the information from the subordinates learned that this Otsutsuki Yi Ching had injured Hyuga Hazashi of the Hyuga clan in Konohagakure, and could not kill a few people. Quote. Baki, who was dragged by Luasha by the collar, did not dare to conceal anything, and said quickly. Furthermore, Konohagakure also issued a Hokage order to want this boy named Otsutsuki Yi Ching, life or death. So it was him. Luo Sha put Baki on the hospital bed, her face even more ugly. Sunagakur and Konohagakure have always been in a state of competition, so there are a large number of Sunagakur spies in Konohagakure, and Konoha's intelligence is continuously transmitted to Sunagakur. Some time ago, Konoha did issue a Hokage order for a teenager. We wanted to find this teenager and subdue him. We didn't expect. What is the identity of this boy? Baki struggled to stand up, his face even more ugly, convulsed, and said. Master Luasha, when I returned to Sunagakur, I got a few more incredible pieces of information. What's up? Luo Sha said, he had never seen Baki with such a serious tone. The death of the third-generation star Shadow Clover of the Bear Country Star Yin village was made by this young man. There is also the destruction of Takigakura village in Taki no Kuni, and the killing of Takikage, which was also made by this boy named Otsutsuki. The war machine in Takigakura, Seven Tails Chome, was also captured by him. What? After hearing these few news, Luo Sha's face was even more embarrassed. He didn't care about the destruction of Xingyan village and Longyan village, only two small hidden villages. However, Seven Tails Chome was captured by this boy again, so it was a big deal. Two beasts with two heads and tails, they are two war machines capable of controlling the entire ninja world war. Master Luasha, I haven't finished talking yet. Baki swallowed, his mouth and tongue were a little dry, but he bit his scalp and said. In addition to Seven Tails Chome in Takigakure village, there is also my one-tail Morizuru from Sunagakur. There is definite information that the boy also captured Three Tails Isosaki. Impossible. Before Baki finished speaking, Luo Sha directly interrupted and said coldly. Three Tails Isao has been assigned to Kurigakure by Konoha first Hokage Senju Hashirama decades ago, and has never appeared in the ninja world again. How could it be captured by this boy? Furthermore, Isunagakure's intelligence figure lurking in Kurigakure, and there is no news of Three Tails Isoji's escape. Master Luasha, this news is very likely to be true. Baki thought about it for a moment, and said. While we were protecting Fenfu-sama and Morizuru, we found that Kurigakure's ninjas were not far behind the boy, and they were all Kurigakure Anbu's elite. Kurigakure. Three Tails Izola. Luo Sha's eyes surged with anger, and he clenched his right hand tightly, muttering. One Tail Shuhei. Three Tails Siwu. Seven Tails Chomei. Three heads and tails, what is the purpose of this boy named Otsutsuki Yi Ching? Master Luasha, what do we do now? One Tail Shuhei was taken, this kind of thing can't be concealed at all, without One Tail Shuhei, Isunagakure. Before Baki finished speaking, Luo Sha waved his hand boldly and said in a condensed voice. Issuing the Wind Shadow Order, this young man named Otsutsuki Yi Ching is wanted for life or death. I don't believe that, in the entire ninja world, there is no one who can compete with this young man. After saying these words, Luo Sha turned her head and left. However, after walking to the door, he stopped, turned his head slightly, and said. Baki, you have been recovering from your injuries these days. When your injuries get better, accompany me to Konoha. Konoha. Lord Rosa, you want to? Baki asked suspiciously. I personally go to form an alliance with Sarutobi Hiruzen. Several days have passed since the battle between the two great ninja villages of Fengwo and Konoha Sand Shinobi and Kikyo Mountain, and the two great hidden villages have already known the trend of the entire battlefield. In the early battlefield, the offensive forces of the two hidden villages were equal, and no one could do anything about it. In the mid-term, Konoha surpassed Sunagakure by relying on an unparalleled number of players, making Sunagakure had to retreat from his camp by dozens of kilometers. Just when everyone thought that the war between wind and fire would end with Konoha's victory, Sunagakure brazenly released One Tail Shozuru Jinchuriki on the battlefield. On the battlefield, the tail beast is an out-and-out killing machine. Millions of Konohagakure players, all under the indiscriminate bombing of One Tail Shuhei, turned into piles of coke and disappeared into ashes. Even Namikaze Minato and Uchiha Fugaku, known as the Yellow Flash and the two future leaders of Konoha, were defeated by One Tail Shozuru Jinchuriki. Unfortunately, before Sunagakure's ninja was ready to taste the fruits of victory, a mysterious boy descended from the sky. Otsutsuki Yi Ching. He not only stopped Sunagakure's offensive, but also summoned a huge flood from the sky, flooding the Sunagakure position and blowing away countless players and ninjas. More importantly, One Tail Shuhei Jinchuriki, known as the last weapon of the Sunagakure war machine, was also captured by Otsutsuki Yi Ching. This battle was the biggest thing that happened in the entire game after the Hokage Ninja World came to the game. It has been several days since that day of war, but whether it is the World Channel, the Real World, or the major game forums, various deeds about Otsutsuki Yi Ching are being discussed. Kill Star Shadow, kill Takikage, kill Seven Tails Chomei. Seal Three Tails Isojo. Catch One Tail Shuhei. All these deeds undoubtedly show one thing. Among the players, Otsutsuki Yi Ching has secured the top spot. While all players were still discussing this matter, a world announcement once again pulled all players into the game. World announcement. World announcement. One of the 5 ninja villages, the Wind Kingdom Sunagakure number 4th Cage issued a Wind Shadow Order, wanted player Otsutsuki Yi Ching. Temporary rating. A level. A grade wanted order. All players can accept it, as long as the exact coordinates of Otsutsuki Yi Ching are confirmed, and the Sunagakure ninja confirms the truth, they can receive a C-level reward. C-level rewards include C-level ninjutsu, C-level ninjutsu, C-level ninjutsu, C-level physique, etc. Killing the player Otsutsuki Yi Ching. After the Sunagakure ninja confirms the truth, you will receive an A-level reward. A-level rewards include A-level ninjutsu, A-level ninja, A-level ninjutsu, A-level physical skills, etc. And, kill the Otsutsuki Yi Ching player to become the true disciple of 4th Cage, all ninjutsu is taught. Warning. For all rewards, only the player who completes the Wind Shadow Order first can obtain the corresponding rewards. S-level reward. S-rank ninjutsu. S-rank ninja. And S-rank ninjutsu. It is rumored that the water-styled waterfall technique is an A-level water-style ninjutsu, which can summon floods, so does S-level ninjutsu possess the power to destroy the world. Are the people at Sunagakure crazy? They actually issued an S-class wanted order. It's worthy of being one of the 5 hidden villages. For a player, I was actually willing to issue an S-level wanted order. According to intelligence reports, such S and wanted orders from major hidden villages have not appeared several times in decades. Yes, according to the news that our boss got, in the past 10 years, the most famous S-class wanted warrants are Cloud Shinobi Village and Takigakura Village. Yes, Cloud Shinobi Village seems to have 2 characters called Golden Horn and Silver Horn. They killed second Hokage Senju Tobarama and wanted to subvert the regime of Cloud Shinobi Village, so they were wanted by the ninjas of Cloud Shinobi Village. There is also the Takian village that was destroyed by Otsutsuki Yi-Ching. I heard that their previous strength was also very strong, only a little bit closer to the strength of the 5 hidden villages. A few decades ago, there was a man who dared to assassinate first Hokage Senju Hashirama in Hokage Senju Hashirama. He actually returned to Hokage Senju and killed all the high-ranking members of Hokage Senju Hashirama. An S-class wanted order was issued. Assassinated first Hokage and second Hokage. It seems that these people who are wanted by the S-level are all Kage-level characters. S-class wanted order, for sure. Could it be that the true strength of Otsutsuki Yi-Ching has reached Kage level? Sure. Yi-Ching God tier has captured 3 tail beasts, the strength must be very strong. I remember, the tailed beast bomb issued by one tail Shuhei must belong to the category of S-rank ninjutsu. S-rank ninjutsu can't kill Otsutsuki Yi-Ching. So strong. Then, this S-level wanted order, shall we accept it or not? Take it. Take a Harry, do you want to be abused again? Can't beat it, he took all the 3 tail beasts easily, how can we beat? That group of big forces are also difficult to ride a tiger at this time, ha 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 ha. Numerous exclamations and discussions came from the World Channel. The focus of this discussion is still Otsutsuki Yi-Ching. However, the difference is that the focus of the discussion about Otsutsuki Yi-Ching at this time is not how to besee him, but to marvel and worship. The original shouting, screaming and killing, all turned into the current envy and flattery. The strength is so strong that no one on the entire World Channel dared to propose to attack Yi-Ching. Dragon City. As one of the first forces to become enemies with Yi-Ching, after knowing that Sunagakure had issued an S-level wanted order, he fell into a frantic quarrel. Wind Shadow Order. S-rank wanted order. This is an S-rank reward, should we organize it again? Get out. You want to die, we won't stop. What are you afraid of? This is just a game, and we can't die. You can't die, but every time you die, you will be severely injured. You must rest for about 3 days before you can continue to log in. Do you know how precious these 3 days are to us? Also, the more we die in this game, the more severe our mental damage will be, and in the end we will become an idiot. This time the Wind Shadow Order, let's wait and see if there are other forces to organize. This is an S-level reward, it's really blind. Otsutsuki Yi-Ching. Wushuang City. As the initiator of the Thunder Alliance last time, after learning that the Wind Shadow Order was aimed at Otsutsuki Yi-Ching, he rarely fell into silence. In the game, they could not resist Otsutsuki Yi-Ching, and in the real world, Yi-Ching had never been offline, making their series of preparations all aborted. What kind of adventure does Yi-Ching have? The spirit of ordinary people can last for up to 2 days in Tiandao online games. This guy hasn't been offline for almost a month. Yes. Our news from the Mingsan City spy said that Lei Yuansan and the group of people in the Presbyterian Church have also been waiting for Yi-Ching to go offline, but there is no figure at all. I won't be offline for a month, no wonder the strength is so strong. What should we do? Are we just waiting like this? Wait, what else can I do? Is it possible to be killed by Otsutsuki Yi-Ching again? Since Otsutsuki Yi-Ching has disappeared, it is very likely to deal with the 3-headed beast. In that case, we must hurry up and upgrade. When we meet next time, it will be our chance for revenge. Yes. Since Sunagakure dares to issue a Wind Shadow Order, they will definitely send ninjas to look for Otsutsuki Yi Ching. We will take this opportunity to step up time to raid the hidden villages. I hope we can pull up an alliance between the big hidden villages and attack and kill Otsutsuki Yi Ching together. Wait, the boss is now a direct disciple of the Uchiha clan. He seems to know the secret of awakening the Uchiha clan's special blood inheritance boundary. In time, our Wushuang city will definitely be the most powerful force in the entire Hokage ninja world. Tianluodi.com headquarters. Since Senju Luo Tian was trampled to death by One-Tail Shuhei a few days ago, and later learned that Otsutsuki Yi Ching had captured One-Tail Shuhei, his aura became even more gloomy. Later, after the vigorous strategy and investment of Tianluodi.com, as well as Senju Luoshan's own drilling camp in the game, he finally came into contact with a big figure in Konohagakure. Orochimaru, one of Sannin. In the third stage of the ninja war, Orochimaru has been immersed in human research and wanted to rely on the cells of first Hokage Senju Hashirama to clone a group of ninjas that can perform wood style. It is a pity that the progress of the research over the past few years has been very slow, and the large numbers of experimental bodies have died, which has almost brought this experiment into a bottleneck. At this time, the appearance of Senju Luo Tian is undoubtedly a great opportunity for Orochimaru. Compared with clones, the direct blood of the Senju clan has a greater chance of awakening wood style. For this reason, Orochimaru did not hesitate to accept Senju Luo Tian as his disciple, and taught him carefully. Moreover, the process of the wood-style experimental research is also open to Senju Luo Tian, who regards it as the most important research object. Thanks to Orochimaru's teachings and wood-style's research on blood succession limits, Senju Luo Tian's strength is growing at an extremely fast rate. The real world, Mingsan City. Since Yi Ching logged into the game again a month ago, the entire villa has become an exclusive villa for two little beauties, Yang Meiling and Yang Meiki. In addition to the two of them, Yi Ching's older sister, Lei Lu, also moved here and controls the power of this villa. This villa has been regarded as the most important place by Lei Yuansen and Lei Lu, and the most elite fighters in the family have been sent to station here. In addition, there are also several players who have passed the Hyuga clan blood succession boundary examination, hiding in the dark, using Byakugan's special abilities to scout the surrounding area. Yi Ching hasn't been offline yet. In the magnificent hall, Lei Lu was still dressed in cool clothes, leaning on the sofa with her legs up, showing her enchanting posture to the fullest. The sun shines on her through the large floor-to-ceiling windows, making her bare skin appear brighter. A big red suspender and hot pants made her seem to exude an extremely passionate atmosphere. Back to the eldest lady, not yet. Standing next to Lei Lu were two little twins, Yang Meiling and Yang Meiki. Facing their man's sister, the two little beauties did not dare to gasp and looked at Lei Lu nervously. Isn't there any reply to the message? Lei Lu didn't give up and continued to ask. Letter information. Asking this, the two little beauties turned red with a brush, and after looking at each other, they shook their heads helplessly. As Lei Lu's sister, she certainly knows Yi Ching's temperament very well. The information must be passed, but the content can be read as a little yellow text, otherwise the faces of the two girls, Yang Meiling and Yang Meiki, can be used as lanterns. Hey, forget it, when Yi Ching goes offline, you must notify me, I have something urgent. Before Lei Lu's voice fell, she heard a buzzing sound from the second floor, and the air trembled suddenly. The structure of this villa is extremely strong, but this shocking feeling has been transmitted from the second floor to the outside, and almost the entire villa began to vibrate. Did the earth quake? Jump. Bouncing. Jump jump jump. At this moment, a series of glass-shattering sounds kept coming, and all the windows, quilts, lamps and lanterns of the entire villa exploded suddenly, turning into piles of dross. There were even cracks in the surrounding walls, and various pieces of furniture worth tens of millions were overturned everywhere. What happened? Could it be that other forces have attacked again? Lei Lu's face was extremely ugly. In this violent shaking, her body didn't move, instead she was firmly nailed to the ground. No matter how the earth shook, she didn't move. I have been in the Hokage ninja world for more than a month, and the player's overall strength has become genin. As the eldest lady of the Mingxin group and a direct disciple of the Hyuga clan, Leilu's level had already reached level 160, and this kind of small earthquake did not threaten her at all. Not only her, but even Yang Meiling and Yang Meiki, the two little beauties, stabilized after the initial panic. This wave of vibration came and went quickly, and before the guards outside rushed in, the vibration had disappeared, as if it had never appeared before. At the same time, a faint voice also appeared in the ears of the three women. Don't be nervous, it's me. Yi Qing. Master. Leilu's eyes lit up and she rushed towards the second floor. Yang Meiling and Yang Meiki, two little beauties, also hurriedly followed. Sure enough, in the bedroom on the second floor, Yi Qing was closing his eyes, carefully feeling the energy surrounding him, unable to calm down for a long time. Yi Qing, are you all right? Leilu looked at Yi Qing, who was calm and worried, and asked. At this moment, Yi Qing's body was actually filled with a faint blood-colored chakra, like a cloud, slowly winding around his body. What surprised the three women even more was that this faintly bloody chakra, behind Yi Qing, formed the appearance of a three-headed monster. A civet cat looking up to the sky and roaring. A tortoise covered in spurs. And, a huge insect that spreads its wings. Surrounded by these blood-colored chakras, the projections of these three monsters are extremely mysterious. Even these three monsters have their own lives in a good show, and they are roaring silently or telling something. This should be the one-tail Shuhei 3 tails, 7 tails Chomei that Yi Qing subdued. Leilu looked at the phantom of these three monsters and said slowly. As the eldest lady of the Mingxin group, I have been watching nervously what happened in the Hokage ninja world. Moreover, because of Yi Qing, their Mingxin group is also under pressure and criticism from the secret. If it is not handled properly, their Mingxin group will be attacked by almost the whole world. It took several minutes for Yi Qing to open his eyes, and a bright light flashed through his eyes, and then disappeared without a trace. Yi Qing, are you okay? At this time, Leilu asked nervously again. Nothing, it's just a little bit stronger. Yi Qing said lightly, his strength has not only increased a little, it is several times as high as before. After absorbing one tail Shuhei and 3 tails ISO one after another, the level directly broke through the 300 mark and reached 320. When the level reached Jonin, he received a lot of rewards and titles. These are just trivial things. The most important thing is that his chakra amount has reached 3 million points after absorbing one tail Shuhei and 3 tails ISO. You know, ordinary cage level characters have the most chakra, which is only 1 million points. In addition, after killing so many Sunagaku Jonin and Chunin, nearly 100 copies of wind-style ninjutsu and fire-style ninjutsu were dropped. All the merit points obtained are used to improve ninjutsu skills, and these ordinary ninjutsu has reached the full level. And the 3 special skills that belong to him have also improved a lot. Skill 1. Space travel LV6 consumes a lot of chakra to open a cave in the air. This technique can be used to attack and shorten the distance of long-range ninjutsu to disrupt the assault opponent, and can also be used to avoid the escape in crisis without the need to seal. Unblocked. Skill 2. Time freeze LV6 consume a lot of chakra can freeze time within a certain range. Any material life will be in a static state. Unblocked. Skill 3. Hold body technique LV1 consumes a lot of chakra, can make the target body still, unable to move. Unblocked. Yi Qing, do you know that during your stay, the real world has undergone great changes, and the Presbyterian Church has also sent people here for a long time and has been waiting for you. Seeing Yi Qing's calmness recovered, Leilu even walked up to hold his arm and said carefully. After being touched by Leilu in this way, Yi Qing immediately felt that one of his arms was wrapped in 2 soft balls, and it was very comfortable to rub. Is this the benefit of strength? Yi Qing smiled faintly in his heart. According to the memory in his mind, the goddess sister in front of him was dismissive of himself. He didn't expect that after doing something in the game world, even she started to post upside down. However, this is not a bad thing. Beautiful women are born to depend on the strong. But now his own strength, looking at the whole world, no one is an opponent at all. No matter how big things are, as long as Tiandao online games don't change, the world will not collapse. Yi Qing said lightly, and directly took Leilu to sit on the sofa and half-wrapped her in his arms. Yi Qing, you. Lei Lu trembled all over, trying to struggle to stand up, but as soon as he came into contact with Yi Qing's cold eyes, he was shocked and stopped subconsciously. As for the two little beauties, Yang Meiling and Yang Meiki, who stood by, they knelt on the side of the sofa and kneaded their shoulders and thighs for Yi Qing. Looking at the two little beauties who were half kneeling under him and the two pairs of petite hands, Yi Qing nodded slowly and said, "What happened in the real world? Can you send me so many friend messages?" In the game, Yi Qing did not add a friend, but Lei Yuansen and Lei Lu knew their personal information, and they sent hundreds of friend tips to themselves almost every day, which was annoying. Therefore, after perfectly solving the three-headed beast, Yi Qing went offline and left the Hokage ninja world. After all, the root of this world is still in the real world. Yi Qing, since the arrival of the Hokage Ninja Tiandao online game, the monster fluctuations in the entire world have become more frequent, and several small cities have been directly destroyed by them. Lei Lu said quickly. In addition, because our Mingxin city is located in a coastal city, we have also been attacked by several sea kings. We paid a great price to drive them into the sea. Also, since your rise in the Hokage ninja world, several other big cities that are hostile to us have also begun to infiltrate us. In order to resist the attack of Sea Kings and the infiltration of several other big cities, we had to reach an agreement with the Presbyterian Church, hoping to unite with us in the Hokage ninja world. Listening to Lei Luo's account, Yi Qing probably understood what happened over the past month. Because of the arrival of the new Tiandao online game Hokage Ninja World, the space cracks in the entire world have expanded again, and more demons, ghosts and other dimensional creatures appear in this world, attacking humans. Even their Mingxin city was attacked by Sea Kings. In addition to these monsters, there are also large forces that covet the power of the Hokage ninja world, and they also set their sights on themselves. As for the Presbyterian Church, it is actually the government in power when the world has not changed drastically. Today's Presbyterian Church, although it controls the country's largest city and a large number of troops, there are many forces attached to them. However, after a series of major changes in this world, it is not that there are forces to challenge the elders. For example, the Mingxin City, and the Dragon City Wushuangcheng Yulongwei, which was fostered by other countries, and other forces. Seeing Yi Qing who was lost in thought, Lei Lu struggled, still holding his hand and said, "Yi Qing, the people from the Presbyterian Church have been waiting in the company for more than half a month, let's meet him." As he said, he wanted to pull Yi Qing up. Not urgent. Yi Qing used a little bit of force, Lei Lu's whole body fell directly into his arms, warm fragrant nephrite jade into his arms, and a slight change occurred in a certain place. "Yi Qing, you." Lei Lu immediately panicked. Although she had already prepared in her heart, she didn't expect Yi Qing to start so quickly, she wanted to struggle to stand up. Good. Yi Qing immediately used both hands to fix Lei Lu's body, and said coldly. "People from the Presbyterian Church. I have been waiting for half a month, and I don't care about this night." As he said, he put Lei Lu directly on the sofa aside, and his big hands started to touch it indiscriminately. "Meiki Meiling, you hold her to this young master." "No, Yi Qing, I'm your sister. It's not your own, besides, my sister, you should have already been prepared to show up." One night, the three girls couldn't bear the conquest at all. However, when Yi Qing was sleeping with the three girls, the vision caused by his going offline had already alarmed the people who had been hidden in Mingxin City for a long time. Figure. Is Otsutsuki Yi Qing offline? Yes. Today we are hiding in the Mingxin City guards. There is a news that the villa suddenly vibrates. It is definitely that Otsutsuki Yi Qing has gone offline. Ha 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 ha. It's worth waiting to hide here for so long. Hurry up and notify Uchiha Black Dragon in the game, he is the killer that our Black Dragon will always hide. Yes. Lord. I heard that Uchiha Black Dragon Sama has awakened Sharingan. With Sharingan's ability, we must be able to assassinate Otsutsuki Yi Qing in the real world. Huh. Wushuangwei group of fools, really thought we would share Sharingan's eye-opening method with them. They drop. They can only be the puppets of our great Japanese empire to occupy the East Asian continent. Master Uchiha Black Dragon is about to arrive, go and meet that master. Yes. Following the actions of these people, a few capable figures quickly emerged from the darkness. These people are all the elites left behind by the Black Dragon Society hidden in Mingsan City to assassinate Yi Qing. Especially the headed youth, with pale faces and gloomy eyes, is the Uchiha Black Dragon among the previous population. Uchiha Black Dragon is originally called Yamamoto Black Dragon, and is the next heir of the Black Dragon Club. A few months ago, he was fortunate to be a closed beta player of the new Tiandao online game Hokage Ninja World, and obtained a series of intelligence from it. Relying on this information, the Black Dragon Society quickly took root in Konohagakure, Land of Fire, and abandoned the Senju clan with few personnel, and instead chose to attack the Uchiha clan with all their strength. Among the 10 players who can pass the Uchiha clan's blood succession boundary test this time, their Black Dragon Club occupies 4. Because the Uchiha Black Dragon discovered a big piece of information, in the next plot, the Uchiha clan will occupy the most important part of the whole plot. Even the people of the Uchiha clan will have children of luck. For this reason, the Black Dragon will not hesitate to use the power of the entire family to make the Uchiha clan an affiliated force. You know, according to the past experience of Tiandao online games, as long as you can find the Son of Luck in that world, you can occupy the entire world and become the largest force in the entire world. But now, the emergence of Otsutsuki Yi Qing has greatly threatened the prospects of the Black Dragon Society. To talk about the conflict between the Black Dragon Club and Yi Qing in the early stage, it was entirely due to the Hokage order issued by Konohagakure. And now, after Yi Qing caught the 3 tailed beasts in one fell swoop, the Black Dragon Society felt a great threat. They also know about the 9 big-tailed beasts. If all these tailed beasts are captured by Otsutsuki Yi Qing alone, then this online game world will be a mess. Before the son of Qian has grown up, the whole world will be re-evolved by the online game Heavenly Dao. Even if the son of Qian is born, it will be too late. By then, this Hokage ninja world can only be occupied by Otsutsuki Yi Qing alone. For the people of their Black Dragon Club, it is the biggest threat. Where is the goal? Uchiha Black Dragon didn't care about the few people who greeted him, and said directly. Return to Lord Black Dragon, the goal is still in the villa. Although we have internal responses in the villa, there are more than 50 guards guarding the villa. These people said quickly, and then showed the topographic map of the villa to Uchiha Black Dragon for viewing. No need to look, let's go straight in. Uchiha Black Dragon Hoki's hand waved and walked directly in the direction of the villa. Master Hailong, there are more than 50 guards guarding there. According to the strength of Tiandao online games, they are all around 130+. The spy's face changed slightly, and he hurried up to admonish him. Why, don't you believe in my strength? Uchiha Black Dragon's voice suddenly became cold, and a pair of black and white eyes suddenly flashed with a scarlet light. Among them, there are actually 2 jade-shaped pupils, slowly rotating. Under the gaze of these scarlet pupils, the spy's eyes stunned for a moment, and then there was a violent horror in his eyes, as if he had seen something unbelievable. The whole body trembled suddenly and violently, and the whole body was covered in cold sweat, almost unable to stand steady. Choke. With a dragon chant, I saw that the samurai sword in Uchiha's Black Dragon's hand was already on the spy's neck. Humph. If it wasn't for you to have some effect, it would have become my dead soul under the sword. Uchiha Black Dragon gave a cold snort, the scarlet light flashed in his eyes, and the spy also recovered his calm. Feeling the coldness between the neck and the cold snort of Uchiha Black Dragon, the spy who survived the disaster trembled all over his body and said quickly. Yes, Master Black Dragon, follow me. At that glance, he plunged into an illusion, as if countless steel needles had been pierced on his body, and he was crushing crazily. Under the severe pain, he didn't have any thoughts of resistance at all. The spy quickly concealed his shock and trot all the way to lead the Uchiha Black Dragon. Several people soon came to the villa. Go! Uchiha Black Dragon gave a cold cry, and led the dozens of Black Dragon elites behind him, and walked directly towards the villa door. Who? The bodyguards of the Mingsan group guarding the gate of the villa quickly found the traces of these people, but before they could take any action, Uchiha Black Dragon appeared in front of these people. The scarlet light flashed by, and then there was a burst of bright knife light. However, within 2 seconds, the heads of the 4 Mingsan group bodyguards guarding the front door of the villa were directly cut off and killed. Kill. With a cold voice, the Uchiha Black Dragon rushed out first, followed by more than a dozen Black Dragon elites. With Uchiha's Black Dragon's 2 Tomo Sharingan, and his master's illusion, it is almost like no one in this villa. No matter how many Ming Mori City reports are rushed out, as soon as you touch the eyes of the Uchiha Black Dragon, you will immediately fall into an illusion and be easily killed by the remaining Black Dragon Society elite members. After killing the last wave of bodyguards in Mingsan City, Uchiha Black Dragon and others finally came to Yi Qing's bedroom door. Master Black Dragon, according to the information provided to us by the insider, Otsutsuki Yi Qing lives in this bedroom. The half-dead spy who was frightened by Sharingan's illusion before, seemed to have forgotten his previous fears, stood in front of the Uchiha Black Dragon flatly, and pointed at the bedroom door diligently. Ah, very good. Uchiha Black Dragon did not summon the hair, but took out a dark pill-like thing, threw it into his mouth, chewed it carefully, and then swallowed it. Bingliang pills are special medicines from Konoha. They are the only medicines that can restore chakra ninja. However, eating too much of this kind of ration pill will produce a certain degree of resistance to the player's body, and the effect will be greatly reduced. After a while, the chakra inside him returned to its peak state again, and kicked towards the bedroom door when he lifted his foot. With his current strength, even if it is an iron gate, he can kick a big hole. With a touch, just when Uchiha's Black Dragon's big feet were about to kick on the bedroom door, the door suddenly opened from the inside. The Uchiha Black Dragon was also angry, and without paying attention, he staggered and fell in with a dog-eating posture, very embarrassed. Which grandson is this who actually gave such a big gift to Grandpa? Beigaya rode. With an angry shout, Uchiha Hailong got up from the ground in a hurry, and the few men behind him also grabbed him in a hurry and pulled him up. Yi Qing, dare to stop me from the rise of the Black Dragon, today is your death date. Just now Uchiha Black Dragon kicked angrily and squatted directly on the ground. The bridge of his nose slammed into the ground, and his face was covered with nosebleeds. At this time, Uchiha Hailong was full of blood, but he still stared at Yi Qing with small eyes, very embarrassed. This time they were originally preparing for the assassination, but Uchiha Black Dragon, confident of his Sharingan, went all the way to the inside of the villa, waking up several people inside the villa. Everyone knows the strength of Otsutsuki Yi Qing in the game at this moment is heaven-defying, but Uchiha Black Dragon has internal beta intelligence. In his opinion, as the Uchiha clan who can compete with Senju Hashirama, the god of ninja, they must have the strongest Sharingan. And now, he not only has Sharingan, but also 2 Tomo Sharingan. Coupled with the illusion skills learned from several teaching ninjas of the Uchiha clan, in the real world, you can definitely use Sharingan plus illusion skills to kill Yi Qing in seconds. Several large forces know that although Mingsan City is also one of the large forces, as the young master of Mingsan City, Yi Qing, he was completely useless before. This time in Hokage Ninja World, I don't know what shit luck is going on. It is so strong in the game. But even so, it still can't change the contempt of Mingsan City by these large forces. And now, since Yi Qing has discovered them, they have no retreat anymore, they can only fight desperately here to kill Yi Qing. Only in this way can they have a chance. Kill. Give me everyone. The time has come to be loyal to the Emperor. Kill. Following the roar of the Uchiha Black Dragon, the dozens of Japanese ninjas who followed him immediately uttered a roar, twisted and rushed towards Yi Qing. After more than a month of upgrading, at this time, all players have reached a level of 130 to 150, and these Black Dragon ninjas who can be selected to assassinate Yi Qing are all elites in their power. The level is at least 160, and he is well equipped. Among them, the Masters D and Ninjutsu have also been trained to LV7 or higher, and the strength is very powerful among ordinary players. Kill. The dozens of people roared in unison, and kunai shuriken katana and other endurance tools appeared in their hands. The distance between the two sides is so long, the quickest killing move is to kill at close quarters. Moreover, they learned from their information that ninjutsu has no effect on Yi Qing, but will become a weapon to slaughter them. The wind howls, killing intent is cold. I saw the ninjas of the more than a dozen black dragon clubs twisted and pounced, and almost instantly, they pounced on Yi Qing's side. A bunch of Japanese dogs do not know whether they live or die. Facing the Black Dragon Guild members who rushed forward, Yi Qing suddenly shot a hint of coldness in his eyes. According to the memory in my mind, after the great changes in this world 100 years ago, the island nation of the Japanese nation suffered a large number of attacks by sea kings for the first time. The entire country, supported for less than 3 days, was breached by sea kings, and the Japanese were killed and wounded countless. However, the Japanese country, which was supposed to destroy the country, took advantage of the fact that all countries in the world were being attacked by different monsters, and they brazenly sent troops to attack the stick country, occupying a large area of territory. In addition, in the following decades, the remaining stick countries continued to invade the northeastern part of China, with the intention of occupying more territory and resources. And Mingsan City happened to be a fortress between them. Therefore, the Japanese wanted to complete their plan to invade and occupy the territory of China, and Mingsan City has been thorny by their attempts. For example, today the world of Hokage Ninja, the online game of Taoism, has arrived, the cracks in the world's space have increased again, and countless monsters and ghosts rush out. The island country has long been unable to defend it. Only the vast continent will be the place where mankind will depend for survival in the future. It is conceivable what kind of crazy things will be done in the next Wa country in order to find a better place to live. Yi Qing raised his eyebrows slightly, and suddenly stretched his right hand toward the dozen or so black dragon ninjas who had jumped up, with 5 fingers forming claws, and a blood-red light flashed across Rinnegan on the palm of his right hand. Shen Luo Tianzheng. Om. Suddenly, a fierce repulsive force rushed out from in front of Yi Qing, and the group of black dragon ninjas who rushed up seemed to have hit the speeding harmony train, and flew toward the rear at a faster speed. Bump. Bump. Bang bang bang. More than a dozen dull explosions sounded in midair, and the bones of the dozens of black dragon ninjas were directly crushed to pieces, blood flowed, and it was not miserable. However, just in the midst of this tragic situation of flying flesh and blood, a scarlet eye suddenly flashed out of it, and it rushed directly at Yi Qing. Ha 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 ha. Otsutsuki Yi Qing, you have already cracked this trick by us. The CD time is 5 seconds, and it consumes chakra as an astronomical technique. Let you taste the greatness of our Uchiha clan Sharingan, go to hell. With a roar, I saw that the figure in the air was the Uchiha Black Dragon, and a pair of blood wheel eyes had already fixed on Yi Qing. It turned out that Uchiha Black Dragon actually used the lives of these ninjas to deceive Yi Qing's attack, and he took advantage of this opportunity to issue a killer move against him. Come on, Yi Qing, enter my world of illusion. The excited Uchiha Black Dragon imagined that Yi Qing would be controlled by a direct illusion, and then beheaded. And he can become the influence of the Black Dragon Society and even the entire Japanese kingdom. Thinking about it, I can't help but become even more excited. However, he who was excited, appeared in his pair of Sharingan. It was not Yi Qing's panicked eyes, but the scarlet Rinnegan on the palm of Yi Qing's right hand. How cold are those Hokage's pupils? At this moment, Sharingan, who had always been regarded as a killer, had a kind of fear from the bottom of his heart under the gaze of this blood-red circle after circle of strange pupils. Bump. Ah! A screaming scream came from Uchiha's Black Dragon's mouth, and he saw the originally energetic him plummet from midair, clutching his head and yelling. Under the dim light, a few dark red blood flowed out between his fingers. His Sharingan is blind. Ah 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 ah. Screams came from Uchiha's Black Dragon's mouth. A pair of Sharingan was blown into dross, and the constant pain in his mind made his whole person's spirit tend to collapse. Even the most basic thinking can't be done, only holding his head and howling in pain. Illusion is actually a special kind of ninjutsu, relying on its own chakra and spiritual power far beyond ordinary people, affecting the spirit of the subject, causing illusions in his mind. However, the special type of ninjutsu, illusion, can only be used for people who are weaker than their own or have weak mental power. Once the mental power of the subject far exceeds that of the caster will easily be backlashed by the illusion. In the original plot, God of Itachi and Kisame once ran into Sarutobi Asuma Yurihong outside Konoha village. Yurihong used illusion and tree binding to control the god of Itachi. However, after this illusion fell on God Itachi, but in an instant, Shiraihong was countered by the illusion. If it weren't for the fear of God Itachi and the unknown reasons, and the Hitachi's 55 open and the Emperor Guy rescued in time, Sarutobi Asuma and Yurihong would have died in the hands of God Itachi and Kisame long ago. It can be seen from this that although illusion is powerful, it is undoubtedly a double-edged sword. In the hands of the strong, there is no gain, but in the hands of the weak, it is undoubtedly a reminder. For example, now, with Uchiha's level, the illusion skills he practiced, and the bonus of 2 Tomo Sharingan to illusion skills, his strength can even kill Chunin in other hidden villages in the case of a sneak attack. However, Yi Qing's strength steadily surpassed Cage level at this time, his mental strength was as deep as the abyss, and Rinnegan was on his body. Not to mention 2 Tomo Sharingan's augmented ninjutsu, even if it is Tsukuyomi attached to Mangekyo Sharingan, you have to bow your head. Japanese dogs. Just a bunch of idiots. Bump. With Yi Qing's faint voice, the Uchiha Black Dragon who was holding his head screaming frantically, his head suddenly exploded into blood foam, and the red and white viscous liquid splashed around, very disgusting and terrifying. Yi Qing, are you okay? Suddenly, a voice with some horse magnetism sounded, and Lei Lu blushed with a sheet wrapped around her body, walked out gently, and asked concerned. After screaming all night, her throat was still aching. However, when she heard the movement outside, she still came out and asked. It's nothing, just a bunch of thieves who don't have eyes. Yi Qing waved his hand casually, and the corpses and flesh all over the ground seemed to be controlled by an invisible big hand. Are they from the Black Dragon Club? After all, Lei Lu once assisted Lei Yuansen in taking charge of Mingxin City, so he has a clear understanding of the current world political situation and forces. Hey, the Black Dragon Association is now moving faster and faster. Other domestic forces don't know to take this opportunity to solve their worries, but they are fighting each other because of some petty gains and competing for the resources of Tiandao online games. Mingxin City, is a bridgehead against the Black Dragon Society. I always thought I was infiltrated by it. The last time Sea Kings attacked Mingxin City, it was the people of the Black Dragon Society who attracted. Listening to Lei Lu's account, Yi Qing frowned slightly. Unexpectedly, the changes in the real world have become so severe. Will the Black Dragon, trouble? He walked to Lei Lu, kissed her gently on the forehead, and said faintly. Sister, go back to sleep first, wait for me a while. Wait for you. Lei Lu's eyes changed, and he asked quickly, what are you going to do? Nothing, just solve this trouble. As soon as the voice fell, I saw an extremely dark crack suddenly appeared beside Yi Qing, exuding an extremely cold light. And Yi Qing's figure also slowly moved towards the direction of this crack. Yi Qing, what are you going to do? Come back soon. There are hundreds of millions of Japanese people in the city of the Black Dragon Club, and there are also many stick people. Yi Qing. Lei Lu's exclamation did not recall Yi Qing, but Yi Qing's figure was slowly swallowed by the black crack and disappeared into the villa. Not good. Although Yi Qing's strength is powerful in Tiandao online games, there is only one life in the real world, and he must not be allowed to be so foolish. She quickly ran back to the room. Regardless of the pain in her lower body and the numbness of the demigod, she directly called Lei Yuansen. Lulu, what happened when I called so late? Could it be that Yi Qing was offline? Lei Yuansen's voice looked a little tired, and he hadn't rested for the past few days because of the Yi Qing Elders Association and the Black Dragon Association. At this time, I received a call from Lei Lu and said excitedly. Dad, how are you? Yi Qing just went offline in the afternoon, and the Black Dragon Club will send someone to assassinate people from the Black Dragon Club. How about Yi Qing, are you okay? Before Lei Lu finished speaking, he was interrupted by Lei Yuansen. Yi Qing now is their only support in Mingxin City, and there must be no accidents. No, Yi Qing is okay, he also killed all the ninjas who came to assassinate him. Lei Lu took a breath and said slowly. Oh, Yi Qing is okay, then you. Yi Qing seems to be irritated by the actions of the Black Dragon Society. He used that ability to travel through space to go to the lair of the Black Dragon Society. What? Lei Yuansen's voice was raised by an octave, and Black Dragon City was a huge city no weaker than Mingxin City. There are no fewer than 1 million Japanese soldiers guarding the Black Dragon City, let alone hundreds of millions of ordinary Japanese people. Yi Qing went so alone, didn't he die by himself? Dad. Let's send someone to support Yi Qing, he will not be an opponent of a city at all. Lei Lu's voice was a little sad, and said anxiously. Although she was forcibly taken away by Yi Qing, if she hadn't had a trace of love for Yi Qing in her heart, it would not be so easy for him to succeed. I'll send someone. There is also the Presbyterian Church. Since the members of the Presbyterian Church want to form an alliance with me, Mingsan City, then they should pay a certain price. However, Black Dragon City is at least more than 700 kilometers away from our Mingsan City. We can only use the abilities of the Presbyterian Church to eliminate some elite ninjas. After speaking, the phone was hung up. As for Lei Lu, she couldn't sleep at all at this time, and hurriedly ran outside the villa. At the same time, Yi Qing's figure suddenly appeared in front of a huge mountain with the shaking of the space crack. The huge mountain is black as a hole, and the mountain is extremely high, almost blending with the dark night. However, it spread from the mountainside to the foot of the mountain, and even to the foot of the mountain with a radius of hundreds of thousands of kilometers. It was built into a giant city. The huge cities lined up one after another, so densely packed that they could not be seen at a glance. And the ground less than 10 miles away from this huge city is an endless sea. The sound of the waves clashed continuously from the sponge, and the air was filled with a smell of sea. Is this the Black Dragon City, the headquarters of the Black Dragon Association? Yi Qing said lightly. According to the memory in his mind, the Japanese people built 3 super giant cities on the mainland after contributing to the country of Banxi. Emperor Fuji Castle, and the Black Dragon Castle in front of you. However, both Mikado Castle and Fuji Castle were built in the territory of Banxi country. And this Black Dragon City is surprisingly in the northeast of China. Each of these 3 giant cities can accommodate hundreds of millions of people. Among these hundreds of millions of people, almost everyone can log into the Tiandao online game world. Among them, as a bridgehead for attacking the mainland of China, Black Dragon City has more fighters and stronger. However, these are not the issues that Yi Qing cares about. What he wanted to care about was that the little widow dared to extend his paws into the territory of China. Even in the northeast of China, such a huge giant city was built. What did the people in the Presbyterian Church and other giant cities grow up with? At this time, the sky was not bright yet, but the people in Black Dragon City had awakened and started a busy day. In the doomsday, these people can be considered lucky if they can have a place to stay. So no matter the personality of the person in charge of this city, ordinary people can only survive by holding their noses. Black Dragon Club, from today, I want you to become the Dead Dragon Club. A faint voice sounded, Yi Qing's figure floated slowly, and soon flew directly above the Black Dragon City. Under him, the mountainside part is also the residence of the high levels of Black Dragon City. No matter where you are in that city, the center of the heights is the place where the ruler of the city and its subordinates stay. Maybe those in power like the feeling of being alone in the middle of being surrounded by countless people. Unfortunately, from today, the people of the Black Dragon Club will pay the price in their eyes because of their stupidity. At this time, a white fish belly suddenly appeared in Dongfang. Once the pale golden light suddenly broke through the darkness, it directly shone on Yi Qing's body. Under the shining of this pale golden light, Yi Qing's figure at this time, unexpectedly appeared an extremely holy light. Accompanied by this golden light, Yi Qing's hands slowly raised, and a series of repulsive forces suddenly poured out from his body, restrained by him, and slowly gathered. Looking from a distance, that light golden sunlight was actually blocked by a dark black circle that appeared in front of Yi Qing. At this time, the people in Black Dragon City finally discovered the figure in the sky. Huh, Yamanaka-kun, look at the sky, is that a personal shadow? Beigaya Road, how can there be people in the sky? Hey, there are really people. What is that person doing? Hurry up and report to Lord Yamamoto. Isn't it a Chinese? How could it be that the nearest Chinese city is hundreds of kilometers away? Master Yamamoto. Suddenly a figure appeared above our heads. With the thought of countless voices, the top of the Black Dragon City finally appeared, looking solemnly at the figure in the sky. Beigaya Road, Yi Qing from Mingxin City, why is he here? A high-level executive, relying on the telescope in his hand, immediately understood Yi Qing's identity and cursed loudly. In order to conquer China, the people of the Black Dragon Society put a lot of effort into investigating the masters of the city masters and their relatives in the major cities of China. As for the closest large-scale strength to them, Ming Sencheng put a lot of effort into investigating. Not to mention, Kamui's Otsutsuki Yi Qing, who is now making a big appearance in Hokage Ninja World, almost Tenten appeared on their desks. Ba ga. Didn't the Uchiha Black Dragon lead the assassination troops to assassinate Yi Qing? How could it appear here? Baga. Go and send orders to the air defense forces and beat this Yi Qing down to me. Ha 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 ha. This is how Otsutsuki Yi Qing wants to be crazy. If you don't obediently hide in Mingxin City, you will actually appear here. Notify the air-to-air missile troops. Even if the remaining air-to-air missiles are blown into the air this time, Otsutsuki Yi Qing will be killed. Go. Go. Also inform Yamamoto-sama to get them offline. One pair of Sharingan can't kill Otsutsuki Yi Qing, then 3 pairs of Sharingan can definitely kill him. Yi Qing, who is far in the sky, didn't hear Black Dragon City's discussion, and these high-level officials came up with a method to deal with him. Even if I heard it, I would laugh. For ordinary humans, thermal weapons such as air-to-air missile cloud explosive bombs are indeed big killers, but for him who has space travel and Rinnegan's major abilities, it is simply a tasteless one. No matter how powerful it is, what use is it? The most important thing is that with the advent of Tiandao online games, the power of these thermal weapons before the catastrophe has been greatly reduced, and even less than 1% of the peacetime. This is why, with the end of the day, mankind retreats so quickly. While the Japanese people in Black Dragon City were still busy preparing to bomb Yi Qing with anti-aircraft missiles, the repulsive force pervading Yi Qing had already reached its peak. Looking at the city underneath him gradually changing from drowsiness to awakening, Yi Qing's eyes still glowed with extremely cold light. Super Shenluo Tianzheng. Ohm. Boom. Boom. Rumble rumbling. A piercing sound suddenly came out, almost compressing the entire air into cracks, and Madara shattered. Almost in an instant, a violent roar directly gushed from the center of the Black Dragon City. The sky of smoke and rocks almost surrounded the entire mountain top, and it continued to spread towards the bottom of the mountain. The sky was full of smoke and the boulders rolled. The whole land was shaking like crazy as if it had withstood an 18th magnitude earthquake. Boom. There was another extremely violent roar. In the eyes of countless people, this huge black mountain was cut off directly by the waist and rolled towards the bottom of the mountain. The earthquake trembled and the magma surged. After a few minutes, the trembling earth finally returned to calm. But the original Black Dragon City had disappeared without a trace. Instead, it is flat ground. A flat ground with a diameter of tens of thousands of meters suddenly appeared under Yi Qing's body. The original giant mountain was cut off directly from the center of this mountain range. On one side was a cliff cut like a knife, and on the other side was a pitch-black flat ground, as if it had been crushed by a giant meteorite. And around this flat land, there are piles of flat ruins, at least several hundred meters high, and directly spreading several kilometers away. The mountainside and the lower part of the original Black Dragon City all disappeared, being directly crushed into dross by infinite power. On the outside of the giant mountain, the slum area, it only experienced a huge earthquake. Numerous houses collapsed, but there were not many casualties. There are very few Japanese in the slums, but the original Banxi and Chinese people are the majority. When they saw this kind of power that seemed to wipe the entire Black Dragon City directly from the ground, they were frightened for a few seconds, and the tide of discussion rose to the sky. What happened? Why is Black Dragon City gone? Heavenly Scourge. It seems that a ray of light appeared, and then the entire Black Dragon City was gone. It's amazing, it almost crushed half of the mountain into dross. My God. What happened to this? Look. There is still someone in the sky. Who is that person? Did he destroy the Black Dragon City? Look. He is floating down. This person seems to be Otsutsuki Yi Qing. I saw him in the game, it's really Otsutsuki Yi Qing. Idle. Sure enough, someone from China has come to save us. Ooh. After being squeezed by the Black Dragon City for so long, someone finally came to rescue us. Look. Otsutsuki Yi Ching is down. Call. A burst of white air like a dragon gushes from Yi Ching's nose and mouth, making his whole person look very mysterious, like a god. In order to completely destroy the Black Dragon City, Yi Ching spent almost all of the chakra in his body before displaying this one, far exceeding the Shenluo Tianzheng who destroyed Konoha by pen in the original plot. In the original story of Pen, the Super Shinra Heavenly Strike, performed by him only destroyed a Konohagakure with a population of more than 100,000. In the real world, the Ultra Shen Luo Tianzheng, performed by Yi Ching directly blasted the entire Black Dragon City and a mountain range into dross. Compared with Pain, its power is at least 10 times greater. Black Dragon City has been destroyed. I don't know those who are still in the Heavenly Dao game. Before Yi Ching had finished speaking, he saw the enemy who had become a clearing. Suddenly, countless waves like waves appeared, almost occupying a half of the original site of the Black Dragon City. In the next second, the members of the Black Dragon Club who wore the same ninja costumes suddenly appeared. These people are all elites in the Black Dragon City, and there are at least 3 million ninjutsu. In order to ensure the strength of the Black Dragon in the game, the people selected as elites in the entire Black Dragon City must be online 24 hours a day. Unless they can't sustain it, they will be allowed to rest offline. While they were fighting in the game, they got the news that the real-world Black Dragon City was invaded by Yi Ching, and they hurried offline to fight. But it's too late. The Black Dragon City, which was full of voices, has become a piece of white ground, and there is not even a scum left. Baga. What's going on? Shouldn't this be the Black Dragon City? Our city. What happened? Bagaya Road. It must be Otsutsuki Yi Ching. He ruined our Black Dragon City. Look. That person is Otsutsuki Yi Ching, he is still here. Baga. My country has been thinking hard for hundreds of years before founding this Black Dragon City, and one day it will be destroyed by the Chinese. Kill. Exhausted all the power of my Black Dragon Guild, killed Otsutsuki Yi Ching. Kill. Kill Otsutsuki Yi Ching. Kill. Revenge for my people in the Black Dragon Club. Kill. Countless roars sounded, and the 3 million Black Dragon Guild members who had just left the line were all shocked by the tragic image in front of them. After a few seconds of surprise, they all burst out with a strong killing intent, and they madly killed Yi Ching. From a distance, it looked like a dark torrent, surging crazily toward this side. My compatriots, don't let the Wogo kill our life-saving hero. My compatriots. We have been insulted by Japanese dogs for so long, and finally it's time for revenge. My compatriots. Otsutsuki Yi Ching saved us. Are we going to watch him be besieged and killed by Japanese dogs? Cannot. Kill. Kill all the Japanese dogs and avenge the Chinese who died on this land. Kill. Protect Otsutsuki Yi Ching. Revenge for the Chinese. Kill. Kill. There were countless roars coming from behind Yi Ching, and the Chinese who were originally in the slum area also burst out roars, rushing towards this side. The Black Dragon City has only been built for more than 10 years, but in these 10 years, the number of Chinese who died in the hands of the Japanese was no less than the number of people who died in the mouths of wild monsters. The Japanese people in Black Dragon City do not regard the Chinese as humans at all, they are completely pigs and dogs. And now with the arrival of Yi Ching, it is the best time for them to take revenge. Feeling the rising aura and killing intent from the front and back, Yi Ching also had a faint tremor in his heart. As soon as he stretched out his right hand, a soft barrier suddenly appeared behind him, blocking the rushing Chinese players, but a faint killing intent appeared in his eyes. Our country of China has suffered the humiliation for more than 10 years. It is only interest to destroy the Black Dragon City. And your executioner who captured the northeast of China back then is the dinner. Following Yi Ching's voice, he saw his left hand slowly gather, and a dark light suddenly poured out of his hand. In an instant, a black basketball-sized ball suddenly formed, tailed beast bomb. Not only that, as several chakra pills were thrown into his mouth, the size of this tailed beast bomb was swelling crazily at a speed visible to the naked eye. However, in more than 10 seconds, a tailed beast bomb with a diameter of 100 meters suddenly appeared in his hand. The humiliation of my country for more than 10 years, today, I will double it back. As soon as the voice fell, I saw the huge-tailed beast bomb held by Yi Qing's left hand, slowly drifting towards the more than 3 million Black Dragon elites. Boom. Quick. Everyone speeds up and must get outside the Black Dragon City before dawn. Everyone, don't entangle with monsters in the middle of the road, do everything possible to rush to Black Dragon City first. In the wilderness, an advance troop with more than 300 ninjas is showing its shape and rushing towards the northeast frantically. These people are soldiers in a small city under the control of the Presbyterian Church, about 200 miles away from the Black Dragon City. After receiving the order of the Presbyterian Church, they immediately dispatched some of their most elite ninjas to rush to the Black Dragon City first. In addition to these people, behind them, there were tens of thousands of ninja troops formed by the two major forces of Mingsan City and the Presbyterian Church, also gathered and rushed in the direction of Black Dragon City. In the Doomsday, the gathering of large forces will always attract the attention of a large number of monsters, which is extremely dangerous. Even the gathering of tens of thousands of humans will cause attacks from monster groups, which is very dangerous. However, in order to prevent Yi Qing from having an accident, Lei Yuansen and the elders did not have time to think about the monsters. They directly released the most elite ninja in their hands and rushed to the Black Dragon City. In their opinion, Li En's challenge to the entire Black Dragon City alone is completely seeking death. Not to mention that there are hundreds of millions of humans in Black Dragon City, these humans can also log into the world of Tiandao online games. Moreover, there are more than 3 million elite players under the control of Black Dragon City, which is not something Yi Qing can contend. Most importantly, the Black Dragon Society inherited the munitions institutions of several pre-catastrophic cities in the northeast, and possesses very powerful firearms. Although these firearms have been greatly reduced due to the advent of online games, these firearms are enough to destroy a mountain in an instant. Yi Qing can do whatever he wants in the world of Tiandao online games, but in the real world, under the attack of overwhelming firearms and missiles, he will also hate. About 3 hours later, these long journeys even lost a large number of members, and finally rushed to the wild of Black Dragon City. However, when the real Black Dragon City appeared in front of them, even the most elite soldier in the previous army was shocked. Where is Black Dragon City? How did this place become a playground? Where's Hailong Mountain? Hailong Mountain is nearly 6,000 meters above sea level. Why has it become a cliff? What the hell is going on? Hurry up and notify the Presbyterian Church. Look, there is someone there, go and check the news. Yes. Dozens of exclamations sounded one after another, only to see the elite troops of more than 300 people rushing to the outskirts of Black Dragon City. Waiting for them is not counted as Yi Qing and the Black Dragon ninja battle scene. But, a huge open space. Following the order of the first soldier, several of his subordinates immediately changed into plain clothes and lurked towards the civilians over there. Looking from a distance, a circle-like ruin appeared around the original Black Dragon City. The ruins were all collapsed houses and the Japanese people who originally lived in the Black Dragon City. Going further, there is an open space with a diameter of several thousand meters. The open space is extremely smooth, almost leveled by thousands of road rollers. Further ahead, there is the original Black Dragon Mountain, but it seems to have been cut down from top to bottom by some magic weapon, and only half of the mountain is left. The incision surface was extremely smooth, as if the knife had not received any resistance at all, and even a mirror-like light appeared in some places, reflecting a little bit of light under the illumination of Taiyuan. At the foot of the mountain, there is a pile of collapsed houses and rocks at a height of 100 meters. In other words, the Black Dragon City, which was once so much talked about, has now become a huge flat ground surrounded by hundreds of meters of ruins. This ruining the situation of half sitting on a high mountain to form this round flat ground is like a miracle. Team Captain, we found out what happened here. However, within a few minutes, the soldiers who had gone to investigate the news ran back in a hurry, with wonderful expressions, mixed with excitement and worship and unbelievable expressions. What's the matter? Is there a new type of monster here? Or is there a space crack that swallowed the Black Dragon City? The leading soldier asked quickly. Not at all. The investigating little soldier gasped wildly and said quickly. Captain, these are all done by Otsutsuki Yi Qing. Otsutsuki destroyed the entire Black Dragon City alone, and even half of the Black Dragon Mountain was turned into dregs by him. There are also 3 million elite ninjas in the Black Dragon, and he used a super large tail beast cannon to bomb without a trace. Black Dragon City. The entire army has been wiped out. What? Among the millions of miles away in the presbytery of Mingsan City coalition forces, the 3 elders who presided over the alliance with Mingsan City are also nervously discussing how to arrange rescue troops with Lei Lu. At this time, a communications soldier trotted all the way to his side and said loudly. Report to the 3 elders, Binhai City Captain Chen has sent a message that they have arrived in Black Dragon City. Have you found Yi Qing? Is there anything wrong with him? Will the Black Dragon use nuclear weapons? The 3rd elder hadn't replied, he was interrupted by Lei Lu's 3 consecutive questions, and his voice was extremely rapid. Miss Wei Lei, this is the picture from Captain Chen of Binhai City, you should watch it for yourself. After finishing speaking, the communicator placed a small holographic communicator in front of the 3rd elder and Lei Lu, and several people around also hurriedly moved in. After a few seconds of shaking the holographic communication device, the picture immediately became clear. Among the surprised eyes of these people, a flat ground with a diameter of several thousand meters appeared in front of them, surrounded by ruins of nearly 100 meters, as if they were being pushed hard by an invisible hand. There are people jumping and cheering all around, dancing and singing in the ruins one by one, with a happy smile on everyone's face. Among them, what shocked them the most was the mountain wall that was cut straight from top to bottom with a smooth cut surface. Where is this? The 3rd elder suspiciously said that not only he, but also the eyes of a few people around him were full of doubts. The place they are going to reach is Black Dragon City. Why do people on the front line show them this ghost place? Report to the 3 elders, here is the Black Dragon City. Report to the 3 elders, here is the Black Dragon City. We learned from the remaining masses of people that just about 3 hours ago, Otsutsuki Yi Qing appeared alone in the Black Dragon City. Can't help but destroy the entire Black Dragon City with a super large ninjutsu that we can't even know, and the Black Dragon Mountain was cut in half by him. Furthermore, after more than 3 million elite ninja players of the Black Dragon Club go offline, they will be able to resist more than 3 million elite ninja players of the Black Dragon Club with one person. Finally, the news we got from the people is that Otsutsuki Yi Qing used a super large ninjutsu similar to Tailed Beast Bomb to kill all the more than 3 million black dragons. Moreover, after Otsutsuki Yi Qing completely wiped out the Black Dragon, he also saved more than 300,000 Chinese compatriots. As Captain Chen kept talking in the communicator, the expressions of several people around him changed wonderfully. Realistic doubts, then shocked, and finally fell into deep fear. Especially the few people headed by the 3 elders, their faces were even more ugly. They seek to form an alliance with Mingsan City, because the strength or power of our 2 sides is probably in a position where we want to be equal. But now, Yi Qing alone can completely destroy a large force, how terrifying. Think about it, if Otsutsuki Yi Qing is allowed to do this, there is almost no leader of a large power in the world who can sleep at night. Nowadays, as Yi Qing's strength soars, Mingsan City's hidden strength will also increase geometrically. At that time, their elders will not form an alliance with Mingsan City, but seek refuge, and will even be swallowed. Where is Yi Qing? Have you seen Yi Qing? He has not returned to Mingsan City until now. While everyone was still in shock, Lei Lu squeezed the 3rd elder away and asked eagerly. No matter what the Black Dragon City is, what she cares most about is Yi Qing. If Yi Qing had 2 shortcomings because of the destruction of the Black Dragon Society, then even if she paid the entire Mingsan City, she would still avenge the people who hurt Yi Qing. Miss Lei, I did not find Mr. Yi Qing. No matter. But what? Lei Lu asked quickly. Her tone was very nervous, not only her, but also the 3rd elder and several others, their expressions suddenly became nervous. However, these rescued compatriots said that when Mr. Yi Qing left, he asked them to wait here, saying that the Presbyterian Church would definitely send someone to pick them up. Good boy, treat us as a transport force. Before Captain Chen's voice could fall, the 3rd elder gave a wry smile and shook his head. Immediately, the 3rd elder waved his hand to signal the communicator to take down the holographic communicator, and then said to Lei Lu with a smile on his face. Miss Lei, since Mr. Yi Qing left on his own, it seems that our two new alliance treaties have to be changed. After all, there is no impermeable wall in the world. After Yi Qing single-handedly destroyed the entire Black Dragon Society, all the people in the entire world, almost at this moment, fell into incomparable shock. That is the Black Dragon Society, one of the three giant cities of the Japanese nation, which blessed nearly 100 million Japanese people. But now, Otsutsuki Yi Qing was ruined by himself. This kind of strength can already be a god. With the destruction of the Black Dragon Society, the American Eagle Nation, Bear Nation and several other big nations and alliances directly raised the investigation and defense forces to the highest level of Mingsan City and the Lei family on the edge of the east. Countless spies, even assassins, did not hesitate to spend countless manpower and financial resources to sneak into Mingsan City, just to investigate the specific information of Yi Qing. As for the Wa Kingdom that was destroyed in the Black Dragon City, it rarely fell into silence. Wa Kingdom, the Emperor's castle. This is the economic, political and cultural center of the Wa country. After the disaster, almost all the elites of the Wa country were concentrated in the imperial city. In terms of strength potential, Mikado Castle far surpasses Black Dragon Castle and Fuji Castle. My ministers, what do you have to say about Otsutsuki Yi Qing? And Black Dragon City, what do you think? In the main hall of the Emperor's castle, the middle-aged man who is currently the Emperor was named the Emperor of the Dark War, looking gloomily at the ministers of the country standing around him, and asked in a cold voice. You all talk about what kind of diplomatic means should be adopted for this Otsutsuki Yi Qing in Mingsan City. Hearing the voice of Emperor Mingzan, these Japanese ministers who were in high positions and held great powers looked at each other nervously, but they didn't know what to say. After a full few minutes, an old man said tremblingly. The Emperor, that Otsutsuki Yi Qing is too powerful, even the Black Dragon Club is not an opponent, he was wiped out in one shot. It is really not suitable to be compared with the strength of our two castles, Emperor Castle and Fuji Castle. What? Before the old man's voice fell, Emperor Mingzan's voice became cold, and the old man was so frightened that he swallowed the next words quickly. With the advent of online games, the world is in chaos, and countless monsters that only survive in myths and legends descend on the world. Modern civilization cannot withstand the great changes that come from heaven. In the end, the power of religion is on the contrary becoming stronger and stronger. When the people at the bottom do not get help in the real world, they will put their spirits on religion. In the Wa country, the Emperor, as a descendant of Amaterasu god Tyr, the creation god in Wa country myths and legends, has won the worship of countless Japanese people. The entire Wa country has almost changed back to the Kun Master hereditary system hundreds of years ago, and even the hereditary system of the gods. In this way, the Emperor became the most powerful person in the entire Wa country. These officials and politicians before the cataclysm can no longer shake the power of the Emperor at this time, so they are so respectful to the Emperor. My Japanese country has been a vassal of China hundreds of years ago. As the doomsday today, as the original suzerain country, I should be the leader of the Japanese country. But I didn't expect that the Black Dragon Society was a hindrance, causing many unnecessary troubles in the two countries. Following the Emperor's narration, the eyes of the people underneath suddenly lit up, and the wise man quickly understood the meaning of the Emperor's mouth, and several people immediately said, His Royal Highness, Emperor Mingzan, you are too right to say that the Black Dragon will act, it has nothing to do with my Emperor City, everything is the Black Dragon will take the blame. That's right. When Black Dragon City insisted on conquering the city in the northeast of China more than 10 years ago, it was expelled from the country by my Emperor. It's not a pity that the Black Dragon will die, thanks to Wa Guo's father who cleaned up the door for us. Thanks for watching, please subscribe and support our channel.